Remember my Christmas wish list episodes? That was when I answered to one of my biggest requests. The request I hear all the time is the bad Sonic the Hedgehog games. What bad Sonic games? In this episode, I talked about how awesome the Sonic franchise was, but then examined some of the titles that I hadn't played till then. And these are the ones you could say were not so good. But the requests still continue. The game everyone keeps pointing me to is Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 06 as it's known by. But I can't imagine it being that bad because it's Xbox 360. It's only slightly over 10 years old. I mean, how bad could this It's gonna fucking suck, isn't it? Oh wow, the opening scene looks great. I mean, the graphics are great, but what am I looking at exactly? Is this Final Fantasy meets Pacific Rim? Then Dr. Robotnik shows up. Eggman. I'll never get used to that. And then Sonic comes in. But where are we? This doesn't look like any Sonic universe that I know. Then we get a loading screen. Ugh. And then another cutscene. Yeah, there's loading in between the cutscenes. But the second scene looks nothing like the other. Now it looks more like the in-game graphics, but you're not playing it. Then there's another load screen, and after that, the game finally starts. But the loading only gets worse. Anytime you push a button or do anything or scratch your nose, it loads. Like here, look at this. You go up to talk to someone, it loads. Then they say something, and it loads again. And the loading can take as long as 20 seconds, maybe more. So far, this game has given me nothing but shit! The game is giving me shit! No! What are we doing in a town anyway? I'm not aware of any Sonic games where Sonic the Hedgehog is coexisting with human beings. I mean, look at this guy. He doesn't belong in a Sonic game. He looks like he should be doing your taxes. And they're all speaking 1,000 silent words per minute. Especially him. The only word on the screen is welcome, but his mouth is moving like crazy. What could he possibly be saying? Welcome. Here we have Bob Hoskins from Super Mario Brothers the movie. Then there's this crack addict in an alley. Hey, did you see that? Did you hear that? We're there, they're coming at me. Crack, I need crack. This guy's moving around like a creepy marionette dummy. And this old woman bugs me out too. What makes this whole thing even more disturbing is that the same people are repeated throughout the town. What is this place? You can harass people in this game too. It doesn't have any lasting effects, it's just enough to make their day miserable. Whoa, what's happening here? Tails was here for a second, and now the game is beating itself up! It's fucking up! Take cover! There's a bunch of guards blocking the path, but if you try, you can actually run past them, slightly. They're not blocking it, there's some kind of unseen force that they happen to be standing in front of. Other times, there's nothing there at all. The whole game is enclosed by invisible barriers. So, where do I go?
They are scattered all over Solian.
Did Tails just kill himself?
Solian, it may be hard to collect.
He did!
Solian. It may be hard to collect them all.
He just couldn't take it. The game was that bad. To get anywhere, first you have to talk to this raving madman who gives you shoes. Shoes! Once you have the shoes, you get to run through a bunch of hoops. Who does Sonic think he is? Superman? After you do that, you're able to buy the light chip, which allows you to jump across the water, which leads to the entrance. The entrance to level 1. In the level, the game takes on a fantasy style, which is more like what you'd expect from a Sonic game. This is where the action begins. You're fighting robots, you're running around loops, you're doing all the fun stuff you'd want. But it's not fun. It almost is. You're doing something that would normally be fun, but there's something on top of it that's making it less preferable, like jumping on a trampoline with a bucket full of dog turds on it. Most of the experience is sort of automated. All you do is push buttons at the right time, and Sonic jumps to wherever he's supposed to land, including a killer whale. It looks cool, but you're not controlling much of it. When you take out enemies, Sonic automatically locks onto his target, so all you're doing is tapping the button over and over. But the gameplay changes every 10 seconds, so there's no way to really sum it up. It's all over the place. You also get some kind of weapon called a dummy ring bomb. What kind of name is that? What else is there? Dope gem gun? You can move the camera angle, but if there's anything in your way, the camera stops, as if there's physically a camera that exists which bangs into everything. Then there's other times when the camera angles are automatic, but there's a few moments where Sonic actually runs past the camera.
Oh man, I knew we should have got the flash.
Okay, just hanging on the whale here. What just happened? It switched to Tails, but there's hardly any warning, and it faces you in the wrong direction. Not to mention, when you die, you go back. Not back to the start of the level, oh no. Not back to the town either, no. You go back to the opening cutscene.
Damn! Is that a punishment or what? The only thing worse I could think of is if the Xbox spit out the game which landed back inside the case, which re-shrink wrapped itself and flew back to the store so you had to buy it again!
Anyway, I made it to the end of the stage. A gate comes down which prevents the whale from getting out. So the goal all along was to trap the whale? As Spock would say, this is not the hell your whale. I thought you'd be freeing the whale, like Free fucking Willy. By the way, don't you think on the poster of Free Willy, it looks like the kid is punching the whale? Who the hell could punch a killer whale so hard that it becomes airborne? You don't fuck with that kid. Anyway, after the whale, the stage still goes on, because it feels like it. Now, Sonic is running automatically at top speed. You have to steer to avoid smashing face first into everything in sight. I'm gonna die. I won. Cleared act mission? What kind of terminology is that? That's like saying cleared level stage. This game is dick cock. After this, you find a feather which clues in Sonic that the princess was moved to another location. Seriously? You're gonna pull that princess is in another castle bullshit? This isn't Super Mario Brothers. Also, when the feather falls down, it reminds me of the opening scene of Forrest Gump.
My mom always said, life was like a box of shit. You're always gonna get shit.
So we're in the town again. Yeah, the town is like the main hub which links you to all the stages. So every time you beat a stage, you have to go back to the town and complete some other asinine goal. For example, there's an area which you're trying to gain access to. The guard, Pietro, says to find the captain. Alright, so now I'm running all over the place like an idiot trying to find this person. I talk to everyone and nobody knows who the captain is. Now I'm talking to Pietro again. He asks me if I found the captain. I say no. He says let's wait a while. So once again, I'm running around aimlessly. There's nobody else to talk to, so I go back to Pietro again. Did you find the captain? Yes, fuck it. Now he says go talk to the person who I think is the captain. Oh, so it's like a guessing game now? Wait a minute. Is it Pietro? You guessed that I'm the captain?
It was this asshole the whole time? Shitty game design is one thing, but this was an intentional cheap shot. They pulled a joke. They fucked you over, assholes.
Then there's a kid who wants you to find his dog. Really? A Sonic the Hedgehog game where Sonic has to retrieve a lost dog? This isn't a side quest. This is something you need to do to progress in the game. So I'm running all over the place looking for this dog, but no luck. So I go back to the kid to see which direction he's pointing. He says the dog is over there. Okay, that should help. But hang on, where's he pointing? Wait. You can't be serious. He's pointing at a wall!
You know what, kid? How about you find the dog? Put up some posters. That boy's gotta think. You got a pet, you got a responsibility. If your dog gets lost, you don't stand there pointing at a wall. You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog!
So I complete the task, I get the kid's dog, and hang on, stop and think about this. It's designed to look like a real-life dog, yet it's sitting next to a giant cartoon hedgehog. What kind of world does this game exist in? By the way, am I hearing Mega Man 2 music? Gotta get through the gate. Oh, come on, what? Can I just jump over it? Can I? I can just jump over it. I find it amusing how Sonic can propel himself by touching these bumpers, even though he touches them from the back. I think that kind of thing happens in some of the classic side-scrolling Sonic games, but of all the things they could have included from the classic games, why that? That would be like making a new Castlevania game and making sure to include the ability to moonwalk on the stairs, but otherwise doing whatever garbage you want. Whoa, did you see that? Ah! All I did was jump. The game can't handle that? Sometimes if you run up against the wall, you lose control, and Sonic does this sideways moonwalk. And sometimes you end up standing at a strange angle. Why is he standing like that? Why is he hovering in the air? Why can't he jump without going upside down? Why is it when you fall in the water you disappear or fall through the ocean floor? What other game can you think of where you fall in the water and end up in the sky? And sometimes Sonic just completely spazzes out.
I changed my mind. This game's awesome.
So after you go to Egypt and defeat the giant Transformer dog by grabbing the lightsaber that's sticking out the back of his neck and riding him headfirst into a wall, you rescue the princess. I'm pretty sure she can walk, but Sonic is always carrying her, even when he's not running. Anyway, you race through the next stage and there's all these fallen pillars in the way, but you can go right through them. Okay, now it's like we're playing big rigs. No stage would be complete if it didn't throw you some kind of curveball. Here, whenever you're running on sand, you have to hold RT, which surrounds you in a magic aura, otherwise you fall through the sand. You don't sink in it like it were quicksand, you fall right through. Maybe it's really quicksand. Oh, come on, how was I supposed to see that coming? The pillar was in the way. This is all too much. There's enemies everywhere, I'm bouncing all over the place, the ground's disappearing, I'm walking on thin air, Captain America left his fucking crates laying around, and I'm bouncing on the robot's hot nuclear glowing dicks. Robococks. After the stage, he gives the princess a backhanded middle finger, and then the cutscenes start getting really weird. What's weird about it exactly? I'm not quite sure. It could be just the fact that it's a cartoon hedgehog sharing a semi-romantic moment with a human princess, or... yeah, that's it. I said it. But there's so many odd things in this one scene. Like when Sonic picks his nose, and then she's about to go down on him. But the part that bothers me the most is something very subtle that only lasts for half a second. Watch.
Did she just look at the camera?
It's so brief, but once you see it, it's locked in your memory. Why is she looking at the camera? What does that expression mean? Also, she's looking to her right. Notice the position of the right shoulder, but in the next shot, she's looking to her left. Am I nitpicking too much? I'll move on. You want to talk about shitty boss battles? When you fight Silver the Hedgehog, this is the motherest of fucks. He uses telekinesis to move objects around, including Sonic. You can't get close to him unless you're charging him from the back. But most of the time, he's off screen, so you never see where he is. This is bull dookie.
You know what? I've played worse. This at least qualifies as a game. But the problem was, it needed to be a masterpiece because it was a Sonic the Hedgehog game. And not just any Sonic game, but it was the Sonic game for a new console and a new generation. This would be like if Zelda Twilight Princess sucked. They even had the balls to call it Sonic the Hedgehog. Not Sonic Revival 3D or something. No, just plain Sonic the Hedgehog. As if this is the only Sonic game you need to know. If you've never played one before, just start with this one. Everyone calls it Sonic 06, but I call it Sonic fucking piece of shit. This is anal sauce. It's so bad, it's a work of art. It's a fine, delicately crafted sculpture of shit. And I'm impressed. You know, This is another one worthy of the collection. I don't mean this collection. I mean the collection. Sonic 06 was the game everybody and their grandma wanted me to review, so I did. But there's more to it. I only half-assed it. So why not go whole ass, which is the opposite of asshole? The torture continues, but the torture is all mine. So first off, I figured out how to beat Silver and kick the shit out of him. Once you learn his pattern, he's pretty easy. Just wait for him to try to launch the furniture at you and homing fuck him in the face until he's dead. Finally, we get to the cutscene. Silver Shithog throws Sonic back as he makes a stupid face and hits a wall. Oh, and of course, the princess gets kidnapped again, only seconds after saving her. If she's just gonna get captured again, I might as well let Eggman keep her so I wouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit. Now Sonic has to go fight Eggman at his base, the White Acropolis. So now I run around aimlessly once again until I finally hit that magic area that lets me progress in the story. There's no clear designation of where to go. I swear the game just wants you to run around aimlessly until it decides you can progress. I hate this goddamn town. The droning music and robotic people freak the shit out of me. I mean, look at this. Why are there no guardrails? If Sonic falls, he dies. What happens if a normal person falls in there? That's unsafe, goddammit. And right here, if Sonic stands on the curb a certain way, he splits reality into two alternate dimensions existing in the same space and time. The visuals in this game give me a headache. Every time Sonic runs up or down a curb, the screen jitters. And it's not subtle either. The camera jerks down or up. So anyway, once you find the portal to the next level or act mission, you're treated to a totally rad snowboard level with some of the worst controls imaginable. Leave it to this game to make a snowboarding level suck. This should be one of the high points in the game, but of course, it's a warm, frothy mug of chocolate shit shake. Half the time I can't go anywhere, or I go in the completely wrong direction. Beat the act mission and Dr. Eggman sends you into the future. You get another cutscene, and Shadow the Hedgehog tells you that on August 29th, 1997, Eggman creates Skynet and the world nukes itself, giving way for the machine war unless Tails gives birth to John Connor. Nah, that doesn't happen, but basically it's a machine war and time travel. Why do you need that in a Sonic game? Whatever happened to just saving animals from becoming robots? Telekinesis, time travel, treasure hunting, bat tits, human princess and hedgehog romance. This game just feels like it was never meant to be a Sonic game. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but sweet mercy, these loading screens are fucking shit. And what's worse is after it loads, you're still playing Sonic 06. Between the levels taking forever and the sheer amount of loading screens you see, this game is just stealing your life away. You're stuck playing the game, but time is moving on. People are getting older, friends come and go. New music is starting to sound like shit to you. I see two squirrels fucking outside my basement window. Oh, now there's a new baby squirrel already. I could have spent all this time watching that documentary about left-handed mattress makers, and you could have had a better hobby, like running around the woods sniffing wolf's assholes. Could you imagine getting close enough to a wolf to sniff its asshole? Let's play the fucking game. Every level from here on out gets more and more frustrating. The platform jumping in the lava level is some of the worst. I like how when Sonic dies, he just casually lays down on the lava.
Oh, the Sonic 06 has got me beat.
Next you fight Iblis or Iblis, the prickly lava dick from hell. He's easy, but you'll be fighting the camera just as much. Hit him a few times, loading screen, cutscene, rinse and repeat. So once again, we're back here, running around for another half an hour. Radical train, dude! Yeah! And what exactly makes this train so radical? I don't fucking know. It looks like a regular train. Next time I have to travel, I'm gonna take the radical train. On second thought, I should have carpooled. Ugh. Beat the rest of the level, and you once again save the princess, only to have her immediately stolen back by Eggman, and then saved again by Sonic within a matter of minutes. Next, on to another cutscene filled with awkward sexual tension between a cartoon hedgehog and a human princess. And look, Sonic even gives her the bedroom eyes. 20 loading screens and another creepy cutscene later, and guess what? The princess gets captured! Again! This time she just turns herself over to Eggman. A big fuck you to all your hard work. So now you play as Tails for some reason, which is annoying. He's slower than shit coming out of Sloth, and the sound of his tail spinning is maddening. Seriously, listen to this sound repeatedly for a half hour. Now we're on to the real motherest of fucks. We're nearing the end of the game, but these last 2 levels are worse than anything up to this point. It starts with 3 trials to make it to the ancient castle. The first is the trial of knowledge. This will test your mind, more like it'll test my fucking patience. The whole point is to take the correct portals to get to the end. Nothing but trial and error. Just keep picking different portals until you get out. It sucks. The Trial of Courage is next, and it's a real heap of hog waste. This is definitely the worst of the 3 trials, because you have to beat a bunch of enemies without any rings. Make one mistake, and you're dead. Last is the Trial of Love. Pick either Amy or the princess. It makes no difference either way. After the final trial, you get to ride an eagle up to the next level as it shits mid-flight. Get ready for this. You better buckle up your shit belt because this game is about to get turned up to 11 on the dick turd scale. This level takes forever, and if you get a game over, you have to do all these trials again. This level took me over an hour to beat, for real. You get to play as Silver in this level, who for some reason doesn't want to kill you anymore. He's okay because he has telekinesis, but he still controls like anal leakage. But you should already expect that.
The engines are malfunctioning.
She dies?
Elise!
So Sonic fails to save her, and then she dies. So even when you do save her, she either gets captured again or turns herself in, or fucking gets obliterated. So after you watch the princess get fucking destroyed, Sonic and Silver use their Chaos Emeralds to go back in time. Really? So they could just go back in time. Well, why not go back in time and kill Eggman when he was a baby? How about go back in time and stop this game from being made? Anyway, so you run around town, you ring 3 bells, you open the final level, which is the aquatic base. Alright, here it is, the final act mission. By now, you've adjusted yourself to the crap factor, and it's not that the game is any easier, it's just that you know how to approach its shittiness after wasting hours of your life. That is until I reach by far the most son of a bitchiness obstacle in the entire game, the giant steel ball. This thing flies all over the damn place with just a slight touch of the joystick. If the ball touches the laser, you fall to your death. I'm losing all my fucking lives here. Fuck. Alright, we're almost done. Just focus. We're almost done. Whew. Yeah! I'm almost there. I can feel it. I reached this room that looks like a goddamn Virtual Boy game, except you'd actually rather play the Virtual Boy than this garbage. Run through the windows, kill the remaining robots, and you reach the end of the stage. So after 3 more cutscenes and 3 more loading screens, it's time. The final showdown between you and Eggman. The fight is frustrating as all hell. Every time he attacks, the camera moves, which changes the control directions. If you're not ready for it, you can fly off the platform. The only way to attack is to wait for him to fly at you, then grab onto the horn and crash him into the falling bombs. After you get 3 hits, his canopy opens and you can attack him by homing into his face. Alright, here we go, I got him. Final shot! Here we go! Damn, if that isn't the sweetest loading screen ever. That's right, give me that motherfucking S rank. So on to the final cutscene. Sonic carries the princess out of the flaming wreckage of Eggman's ship, the 2 share another sappy moment, and then like a vision of true beauty, the ending credits. Thank God. Sonic 06 is over. Oh, I can move on with my life. Except there's a bunch of extra side episodes that are essential to the plot. Seriously, the last thing I want to do after beating Sonic 06 is play more fucking Sonic 06. I'd rather rip every individual pube out of my scrotum with salad tongs than play this anymore.
How did this happen?
Beat these episodes and you get the final one, which is the most frustrating. First off, Sonic dies. Yep, Sonic dies. So everyone has to scramble to get the 7 Dragon Balls, Chaos Emeralds, to save his life. If you have the patience, you can collect them all and put this shit to rest. The princess uses the emeralds to wake up Sonic and what? Wow. Can't say I've ever seen that before. Well, Sonic 06, it's all done. Just to think, all the hours spent, all that time, all that torture, and now it's all over?
So many bad games to talk shit about. One of them I get a lot of requests for is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Really? That's a bad game? I thought it was pretty good. Look at it. It's gold. But it's a mixed opinion kind of thing. Some people love it, some people hate it.
With the first Zelda, I think everyone agrees it's a masterpiece. Sure, maybe there's some weird stuff in it. I don't know why one of the labyrinths is shaped like a swastika, or why the enemy names are so random. What do you call that? A rabbit's head? Wrong. A Pole's voice. What's that? A mummy? Gibdo. What's that? A ghost? Guinea. What's that? Well, it's kinda like... What? It's called a like? Yeah, I'm not making this up. This is all coming straight from the manual. What do you call that? A snake? Wrong. It's called rope. Yeah, really. If you can't tell the difference between a snake and a rope, you're in trouble. What's that? A bat? No, it's keys. What do you call the keys then? Bats? What's that? A knight? A dark nut. Well then what's that? A Geiger councilman? Oh, a rock. What's that? A spider? A tektite. Now what the fuck is a tektite? Is that even a real word? Let me look it up. Yeah, it is. Tektite. Any of several kinds of small glassy bodies in various forms occurring in Australia and elsewhere, now believed to have been produced by the impact of meteorites on the Earth's surface. Yeah. Or a spider.
Well, fuck. Let's move on to Zelda 2. It's been a while since I played this. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's get to the bottom of it and see how well it holds up today.
Well, the overhead world does kind of suck. Everything looks like a block, Link is so minuscule and looks like a little gnarled green turd. But also he manages to be larger than the houses. How does that explain when he walks into the town? Does he shrink in size? Well, then again, how did Link always carry so many items with him? It's not important. It's a fantasy world where nothing makes sense. The most common generic criticism I've heard is that the game is a side-scroller, for the most part, and none of the other Zelda games were like that. Well, think back to when it first came out. There were only 2 Zelda games. One was an overhead view, and the other was a side-scroller, mostly. So there is no real standard yet. The annoying part is that you can't fight anything on the overhead view. These generic cookie-cutter enemies pop out of nowhere, and if they touch you, it brings you to a short battle screen. This is a good chance to rack up on experience points. But most of the time, you're just trying to get from one place to the next, and you have to keep stopping to fight these bastards. The enemies you fight and layout depend on where you got caught. If you got caught on a grassy field or in the middle of the woods, it's always different. You might get swarmed with enemies, or you might have it so easy there's no point at all. Like here, all I gotta do is dodge these fuzzy fuckbutts and leave. It gets old quick, but if you think about it, it's not as bad as Final Fantasy VI, that is 3 on Super Nintendo. Here, you can't even see what hits you. That's as random as you can get. But hey, that was a great game. I know a lot of RPGs like that, but I guess that's not what most gamers expected from a Zelda game. There's no Ganon either, or at least not until you die. Well, this is the only direct sequel to the original game. Zelda's in a sleeping spell, and Ganon's been killed, turned into red ash. Now, supposedly the other villains are trying to resurrect him by using the blood of Link, similar to the Hammer Dracula films where they always mix somebody's blood into Dracula's ashes. So it's kind of disappointing that the only time you see Ganon is when the game's over. Not to mention, what's that look like? Could he possibly be holding his sword in a more suggestive position? The object of the game is to go into towns, learn magic spells, and go to palaces. In each palace, you find a new item and defeat a boss. I've heard some rumor that if you defeat the boss before getting the item, the palace will turn to rock and you won't be able to get the item. But as far as I'm concerned, that's not true at all. The palace only turns to rock after you've completed everything. One thing I can say is that this game is hard as shit. I think we can all agree with that. That doesn't mean the game's bad, challenge is a good thing, but challenge should be given to the player in increments, meaning a game should gradually get harder as it progresses, and that's where Zelda 2 dropped the ball. The first 2 levels are pretty easy, but then it hits you with Death Mountain. Holy fuck. It's the most difficult part of the game, and there's no fucking around. You gotta go right through it early on. These red lizard dudes are on super steroids. Even if you manage to jump over them, they throw their axe. Ah, shit. Where the hell am I going? Oh, god damn. Shouldn't they have put this part at the end of the game? I mean, what could be more dangerous than Death Mountain? They got it all mixed up. That's not to say the later stages aren't hard, but by then you've gained more health, your sword's stronger, and you have all kinds of helpful magic spells to get you through. But here, you're like a 4-year-old trying to fight Hulk Hogan. So before you can even try to face Death Mountain, you have to go mess about, fight random enemies, get experience points, and power up all your shit. You gotta get the pee bags. What are pee bags anyway? Piss bags? That's right, Link collects bags of piss. And even when you're all powered up, you're lucky if you make it through Death Mountain. And the fun doesn't stop there. You get the hammer, break the block, and look for the secret grave that leads to level 3. Just to get punished some more. Ah, you piece of dog shit.
Fuck you!
Back at the beginning. Oh, that's nice. Now I gotta walk all the way back to the palace. In every other Zelda game, if you die in one of the palaces, or labyrinths, or dungeons, or whatever, it will start you at the entrance. But here, they decided, fuck you! You die, you go all the way back to square one. Assholes. Of course, I have to mention the towns. It's so peaceful. Yeah, you need a break from all that madness. But the townspeople aren't really that helpful. Hello? Why even include a character in the game that has nothing to say? Most famous is this guy. I am Error. Well, maybe that's just his name, that's all. Maybe it's pronounced Error. In each town, there's a woman that restores your health. She invites Link inside, and you never see what's happening in there. Is she giving him a potion? Is she performing a magic spell? No, we all know what's really happening. Link is like, getting a little of the old in-out, in-out. I mean, this isn't little boy Link anymore. He's grown up now. He learns all these special moves like the down thrust, the up thrust. In there, he learns the cunt thrust. Yeah, that should be the name of a band. But really, Link deserves to get some because of all this hell he goes through. He's not gonna get any from Zelda. Well, then again, she's in a sleeping spell. What was Link doing there in the first place? Oh, no. Link's a poonhound. Another thing that's fun about the towns is that you can jump on the roof. Yeah, that's fun. Watch this, I'm gonna turn into a fairy. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. What the hell?
Villagers! You like them?
No!
Let's see what happens if I go up here and turn into a fairy. I fell through the floor?
I am putting to the floor, to the floor, to the floor, to the floor.
I don't want to go through the floor. But then again, what do you expect if you turn to a fairy when you're high? High up or high on drugs, either way, you'll see glitches.
Do these skulls ever die? You'll kill your thumbs faster than you'll kill this thing. Oh, thank My God. Tell me this. Why does Link get hurt by bubbles? What kind of pussy is he? You gotta fight some wizard, but he's impossible, unless you get a magic reflect spell from some guy in a town, but before he'll give you the spell, you have to rescue some little kid. Look at that. I don't know why, but I find that very funny. I mean, that's great. Somebody should make a t-shirt of that. It's like every time Link finds something, he has to hold it up. Imagine having him as a friend. Hey Link, have you seen the remote control for the TV? Oh, cool. You found it. Okay. Yeah, you could put that down. Some of the items are disappointing. The candle, for instance, it automatically lights up the dark areas in the caves. But wasn't it more fun when the candle used to shoot fire right in the old man's face? The flute doesn't do the same thing either. Here, you use it to get past this huge spider and open level 6. But how are you supposed to guess that? In the first game, it was for transportation. Oh, and I hate these horse heads. The way they move up and down, it reminds me of the Medusas in the Castlevania games. Yeah, anything with a pattern like that. These games gave me so much stress as a kid, I developed a psychological complex. Whenever I see wavy lines, I get fucking pissed. Sometimes I try to cheat. I turn into a fairy and fly around. I know it's really stupid, but if you're gonna cheat, you might as well be a fairy while you're at it. It doesn't work that great anyway. You never have enough magic to do it, and there's a wall. Damn! You fight the dragon, go through a cave, and knock down some trees with a hammer to find a hidden town. In this town, you get a spell, try using the spell, and the only thing you'll find is that it changes some of the enemies. But unlike the rest of the spells in the game, this one has a secondary function. There's a certain spot that seems like a dead end. You use the spell here, and it makes a temple come out of the ground. How are you supposed to know all that unless you read Nintendo Power? The townspeople don't help that much. They might as well just say, get the power, Nintendo Power. Yeah, it's classic hidden cryptic Nintendo horse shit. I always hated this part too. These guys peek their heads out over the fence like Tim the Toolman's neighbor and throw rocks. That's child stuff. I mean, come on, throwing rocks? Once you make it to the last level, you can actually restart there if you die. So finally the game gives us a little mercy. But if you don't have any extra lives, it doesn't matter. You gotta save up all your free guys. Yeah, all those little mini links you find throughout the game, save those fuckers up. You'll need every one of them. Then you fight the Thunderbird and finally Dark Link, sometimes referred to as Shadow Link. This is the final boss in the game, and hard as fuck. He mimics your every move and will kick your ass. Come on, come on, come on! Come on! Ooh, fuck. Well, it's impossible. I have better luck trying to fight my own shadow. You motherfuckers, come on! God damn! You can't beat your own shadow, and that's what this game is. It's your dark alter ego that knows more about you than you know yourself. I don't know how you could win, unless you're really hardcore. Some gamers are so hardcore with the first game, they've actually made it to Ganon without the sword. That's insane, but people like a good challenge. You want a good challenge? Try beating Zelda 2 with the Power Glove. Yeah, that's a laugh. In conclusion, it's still a great game, but many consider it the black sheep of the Zelda franchise. And understandably, it's very different from the first game, but obviously Nintendo didn't want to just rehash the same game over again, so they tried something new. Some people were confused, and admittedly, it had some mixed results. But it had a legacy of its own. It was the first Zelda game to have towns to visit and to have a magic meter, and many games copied its style, such as Battle the Olympus and even Rambo. Bottom line, it's a good game, but a very frustrating one. I'll never beat it, as long as I live. Nope.
Of all the classic myths of ancient Greece, which would you say is the most remarkable? Would it be the story of Prometheus, the Titan War, the Trojan War, the quest for the Golden Fleece, the rescue of Andromeda? All would be very fine choices, as would be any of the legendary heroes: Achilles, Hercules, Perseus, Odysseus. But there is perhaps one that stands out from the rest. It doesn't come from the writings of Plato, Homer, or Sophocles, but from Nintendo in the year 1987 AD. Not written with ink on papyrus, but as ROM data on a circuit board. Not sculpted in marble, but encased in a gray plastic cartridge. The tale in which I speak of is none other than Kid Icarus. I'm gonna take you back. No, I mean way back to the early days of the NES library. Think of it like the family tree of the Greek gods. There was the era of the primordials, followed by the titans, and then the Olympians. The NES itself had its own primordial age, the black box games as we call them, because they all had that same uniform box art with those distinct pixelated characters that looked just like their in-game counterparts. These games were simpler to play. They were more arcade style, some of them being actual arcade ports like Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers, Kung Fu, and Popeye. Of course, I can't forget Gyromite, since that game required a robotic operating buddy. But let's not dwell on that again. But without a doubt, the most prolific game of that launch was Super Mario Brothers, which would change the course of gaming history. So let's get into the next era of the NES library, which would be the equivalent of the Titans. This is when the true legends were born, and I do mean legend. Of course, all those games were previously released on the console's Japanese counterpart, the Famicom, but for the sake of the story, we're talking specifically the North American NES releases, because it was in the summer of '87 when the Nintendo gods descended before us. They came in swiftly, like a summer thunderstorm, the sky filled with smoldering clouds, churning, brewing in an electric tempest of gaming genius. And then the clouds opened up, and the golden rays of heaven shined upon us, and out from the rays, floating down, came 3 games: Zelda, Rejoice, Metroid, Hallelujah, Kid Icarus. Well, how would I describe that one? Well, I think the best way to sum it up would be with a very famous quote from the great mathematician, astronomer, inventor Archimedes. In his most famous publication, as he so wisely put it, in those immortal words, "Fuck it." Yes, in this context, Kid Icarus had a lot to live up to. Is it remembered as an NES classic? Sure, it is. But comparably, it was the ugly duckling. Another way I can describe it is, if the Nintendo Summer of '87 was a hard rock metal festival, and you had all these amazing bands perform like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, but the headliner was, Nickelback. Just think, after we first popped in Legend of Zelda and first took control of the elf-like hero Zelda, oh wait, that's Link. And then we fired up Metroid, playing as the armored suit space warrior, Metroid. Oh wait, that's Samus. Don't kid yourself. If you're as old as me, be honest. Did you know right away? Didn't you skip those opening prologues and ignore the manuals before you eventually found out the real names? So with Kid Icarus, the character's name must be Icarus. It's the title of the fucking game. Well, guess what? It's Pit. Yeah. Well, why wasn't the game called Kid Pit? I guess it has sort of a shitty ring to it. We'll make a great movie, Kid Pit, starring Brad Pitt. Well, the original Japanese title translates to Light Myth, Palutena's Mirror. But for whatever reason, they changed it to Kid Icarus. What's the big idea confusing us like that? Those motherfuckers. But not like Oedipus. That guy was the original motherfucker. Anyway, the name Icarus comes from the story of King Minos, who built a labyrinth and put a monster in it called the Minotaur. The idea of labyrinths with monsters has probably influenced more video games than we can even begin to count. Anyway, to build the labyrinth, Minos used an architect by the name of Daedalus, like the Neo Geo Daedalus, which converts your arcade MVS Neo Geo cartridges to play on your AES Neo Geo console. The son of Daedalus was named Icarus, who he crafted a pair of wings for to escape his very own labyrinth that Minos imprisoned them in. The fate of Icarus was rather tragic, as he flew too high to the sun, melted his wings, and fell into the sea. With highs and lows, it's very similar to the fate of this game. It sits on a high pedestal, along with all the other highly appraised NES antiques. But has it aged like fine wine? Or has it spoiled into vinegar? Let's uncork this bastard and find out. So the nature of this game is simple. It's a 2D action platformer where you go around shooting enemies while collecting power-ups. Not much to explain. It has only 4 stages, though it's so difficult and grueling it feels more like 50. You're underpowered with a short-range arrow attack. Yeah, Pit sucks, but at least he's not like the hunter Orion. In the classic Greek myth, did you know how Orion was birthed? Do you want to know? Well, okay, Zeus, Hermes, and Poseidon urinate onto a bull's hide, they bury it, and out from it spawns Orion. Imagine if your entire existence came from getting pissed on, not just being pissed on, but pissed on by a god. Not just by a god, but by 3 gods. Psst, that'd be the most epic golden shower ever. Wow, holy shit. More like holy piss. Anyway, back to the game. So the first stage is vertical. You know, I'm sorry. I gotta ask, did the 3 gods piss on the bullhide at the same time? Like a big Olympian circle piss party? Okay, back to the game. No. Boy, you don't even want to know about the Egyptian myths. Okay, so Horus and Set are in competition to claim the throne of Egypt. Set comes on Horus's hands, and then Horus comes on Set's lettuce, which he eats, and then the god Thoth tries to settle it and asks who came on who, and the seed of Horus actually answers with words. The crazy thing is, I'm not making this up. The ancient Egyptians did. Yeah, man, you thought going all the way back those stories would be more intellectual than what we have nowadays? No, those gods were pissing and coming on each other all the time. 3,000 years later, Mike Judge creates Beavis and Butthead. Nothing's changed. Anyway, let's start over. So there's this game on NES called Kid Icarus. In this game, you fight enemies while collecting power-ups. Yeah, your health power-ups are, get this, wine. That's awesome. That's the best idea of a power-up I ever heard. It's a game made by Nintendo with kids in mind where in order to get your health up, you must consume an alcoholic beverage. And a lot of it. Man, he drinks a lot of wine and he graduates to barrels. Full fucking wine barrels. I mean, just to get his health up, he's got to get shit-faced. And dude, wine drunk is the worst. I mean, his teeth are like reddish purple and he's staggering around. It's just... Why isn't this coming out? Oh, I forgot to take the bung out the bunghole. That's what it's called. Not a joke. That's what it's called. And whenever you see wine, you better get it. You think you could go in that door and then come back and it'll still be there? Of course it isn't. Where's my fucking wine? Don't take my fucking wine away! So if the wine is health, what are the hearts? Well, even though they look exactly the same as the hearts in Zelda, they're currency. Well, thanks again for confusing us, Nintendo. You take those hearts and go into the store, but the store doesn't always have the item you want. So to get the item to appear, you gotta leave the store, and then come back in, leave the store, come back in, leave the store, come back in, leave the store, come back in, do it again, and again, and again, and again. Oh, when you see the item you want, don't buy it just yet, because there's a special sale going on. To take advantage of the special sale, you must pick up the second controller and push A and B. How'd you know to do that? I know what you're thinking. Magazines, right? Nintendo Power. Find the clues that you can use. Nintendo Power! No, this was before Nintendo Power. Yeah, the power wasn't turned on yet. It was the Dark Ages. So what did you do before the internet and before Nintendo Power? Well, the answer is you didn't do shit. If there's a strategy guide for this game, it would be only one page and say good fucking luck. I mean, look at this shit. The first stage is vertical, and if you fall back, you're dead. What killed me? The airspace I just occupied 2 seconds ago? Oh man, not again. And when you die, take a guess what happens. It sends you back to the beginning of the stage. Staying alive is only the first issue, besides being a Bee Gees song. I'm funny. Next, the game becomes a where the fuck do you go type of game. Yeah, WTFDYG, one of those. Aw, jeez, I just barely missed that ledge. Now, how the hell I get back there, I don't know. You gotta get the map. It's essential. It basically looks like a waffle. No, really, it is a waffle. Yeah, pour some syrup on that shit. Oh, but guess what? The map does nothing. In Zelda, you know, that other Nintendo-made game that came out around that same time, wasn't there a little dot to mark where you are on the map? Here, there's nothing of the sort. That means it's a waffle. Did you ever have a waffle that had a dot on it telling you where to go? No, pretty useless, I'd say, to rely on a waffle while fighting monsters and navigating through labyrinths. Okay, really now, it is the map. It's not lying, but you need to buy a pencil to mark your spot. A pencil. The character needs a pencil to mark the spot. He's in the middle of fighting monsters, then he has to stop and write shit down. Oh look, I finally get to use something from my fashionable pouch right here. So he's like, oh wait, hang on just a minute, I gotta write that. Oh, and meanwhile, he's like chugging just massive barrels full of wine, and he's got his sword and his shield and all that shit, and he's got his bow and arrow right here. Oh shit. And then he's got like fucking torches and all that. And why does this torch make noise? Why does this torch have to make noise? But here's the deal. We accept it. It's made up video game shit. How does Link carry all that stuff? Doesn't matter. It's the kind of thing you're not meant to think about. But you kind of drew my attention to it there. Not to mention, it's a pencil in ancient Greece. But what'd you expect? He's writing with a pencil. With toxic green lead. Let's talk about the enemies. It's definitely a far cry from the monsters of Greek mythology. Actually, I think, wasn't it the 12 Labors of Hercules when he faced off against a bunch of flying Groucho Marx noses and glasses and Goombas? They're Goombas! Did Nintendo rip off Nintendo? Metroids? Definitely. It's beyond question. These are Metroids. Maybe the game's named after them. Maybe they're called Kid Icaruses. There's also the Sirens, which are naked as hell if you look in the manual. Imagine being 5 years old and seeing that. It's a Nintendo manual with tits! But the enemy you don't want to run into is the Eggplant Wizard. This guy was actually one of the villains on the show Captain N. So what happens here, he turns you into an eggplant. This isn't the only game to have eggplants. They also appear in Adventure Island, and likewise, you don't want them. I don't know what it is with eggplants and NES games, but I hear that eggplants have sort of come back into fashion again recently. I don't know why. I'll have to look into that. Or not. So now that you're an eggplant, you can't attack and can't do much of anything. What do you expect? You're an eggplant. You're lucky to walk. So now you just gotta avoid everything. It's like, hey, out of my way. Fucking eggplant coming through. You gotta get to the hospital. Yeah, there's an actual hospital room where they cure you of your eggplant status. Can you imagine walking into the ER and being like, hey, I'm an eggplant. Okay, here's some paperwork. Sit over there. The only thing I hate worse than the eggplant wizards are the bumblebees, or whatever they are. Look at this asshole. He just took my protection barrier away. I worked hard for that. I had to buy the wand. Those things cost 700 hearts. And that brings me to another point. The most annoying, taxing, and draining thing in the whole damn game is getting enough hearts to increase your health limit. You have to pick a spot and just kill enemies over and over. In fact, you better do it on level 1, because if you don't, your health meter will be so minuscule you won't last on the later stages. I'm not messing around. I'm saying you better get 999 hearts before even thinking about moving forward. It's mandatory. And is that fun? Is that what you want to do? Nowadays they call this farming. Wonder who came up with that one. Farming?
On Nerd Farms, we take pride in growing weapons and health items for your gaming needs. We work with the most fertile ground where purple snakes respawn, delivering fresh to your character's inventory and health meter. Whether it be slices of pizza for your reptilian green friends, or boomerangs for your purple bat-suited hero, we raise the finest free-range turkey legs for your vampire whipping adventures. We're proud of the quality of our purple glowing orbs to keep you charged during those alien planet excursions. Direct from the land, we make our own blue shimmering capsules for your robot blasting escapades. This ain't just power-ups. This is family. Nerd Farms. Now that's what you call a seal of quality.
Another term I hear a lot is grinding. You're not getting a skip for that one. A few other random things. The password system goes by the term sacred words. Never seen that one before, but I sure have some sacred words to say about this game. The bonus rooms have some weird rules. When you shoot the barrels and reveal the items, you can't touch the item or else it sends you out of the room. And if you expose the bad guy, call it the God of Poverty in the manual, then same thing. You don't get any items. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. So basically, you gotta cash out before you find that guy. Kinda like a press your luck round. Big bucks, no God of Poverty. Ah! Along the way, you spend a lot of time freeing soldiers, or centurions as they're called in the manual. They've been turned to stone by Medusa, but after you've collected them, they fly around and help you out. So, of course, I had to get all those guys. Then I get to this purple dragon, which looks as if the Game Over worm from 3D World Runner and Barba from Zelda 2 got together and, well, that's quite an image. Anyway, no fear, the Centurions are gonna help me. Well, that was a waste of time. By the way, I should have known that red stuff on the bottom is lava. It confused me because it looked just like the hot springs that heal you, or whatever that is. Maybe it's Tang. Yeah, remember Tang? After going through the final stage, which becomes a horizontal shooter, you come to the last boss, which looks like something Matt Groening would create. After you shoot out the eye, Medusa appears. And after she's finished, the game is over. You rescue the princess, she thanks you, and depending how well you did, Icarus gradually becomes more muscular. Sort of like in Metroid, where Samus wears less clothes. And then it says, Medusa was destroyed, and the light of peace returned to Angel Land, but in order to maintain peace, Pit's struggle continues? Oh no. There's a second loop? Well, I'm not playing that shit again. Kid Icarus? More like Kid Dickarus! I'd rather have a Cyclops take a big cycloptic shit all over my head while Medusa freezes me into stone, preserving the moment for all eternity! But it is a classic game in its own way. It's great, but it fucking sucks. If all the ancient video game heroes had constellations, I would say Icarus or Pit deserves a spot. Oddly, with all the Greek constellations, there never was an Icarus. It was only in 2018 when a distant star was discovered and named Icarus. At 14 billion light years away, it's speculated that it took so long for the light to reach Earth that the star has likely burned out by now. So to see it would literally be to look back into the past. And that sums up this game's legacy. It shined bright in its glory days, and you can still relive those days through nostalgic memory. I induct this game into the Cosmic Nerd Hall of Fame, so next time you look up to the night sky, think of Icarus.
The Wizard of Oz, a great series of books, but most remembered as the classic 1939 film adaptation. Everyone's seen this as a kid, and it's one of the most cherished movies of all time. Now, did it ever need to have a game? Well, with all the shitty movie adaptations on Nintendo, it should come as no surprise. But this is Super Nintendo, so it can't be that bad, right? The title screen looks promising enough, but if you watch the demo, you see Dorothy fall down a hole and die in a matter of seconds. They didn't even try. It's the worst demo I've ever seen and the perfect foreshadowing for one of the worst games ever. So you start the game and the intro begins. To say the least, it's horrifying. Look at how ugly this is. Dorothy looks like she's dead, and the graphics on Toto really stand out for some reason. Then the tornado comes and Dorothy gets sucked away like a cardboard cutout. So she's in Oz right away, and Glinda gives Dorothy the ruby slippers. I always thought that was sketchy. Why does Glinda have such disregard for Dorothy's safety? Having the ruby slippers makes her the target of the Wicked Witch. It's not like Dorothy asked for the damn slippers. Also, why doesn't she just tell her she can click her heels and go home right away? Fucking bitch. Oh my god, the witch has a bubble too? I don't remember that from the movie. The basic gist of the game, you gotta get through 4 countries, each consisting of 7 or 8 stages. You have to collect bricks and tickets along the way. The bricks are used for building a bridge from one country to the next, and the tickets are for entering the Emerald City at the end. There's also mini games like Match the Picture and this word scrambler thing with Toto. Trust me, it sucks. But now on with the game. Let's start off with the enemy rundown. We got bloodthirsty blue birds, frogs, chattering teeth, pink soldiers, some weird looking dude, flying elephants which are supposed to be monkeys, a blobby blue guy, and killer chairs. Is this Wizard of Oz or Pee-wee's Playhouse? Then there's all these buzzsaws. Kind of violent, don't you think? Everything imaginable wants you dead. Even water faucets coming out of trees. Even the hands of a clock can kill you.
Oh god, here it is! Watch out for the clock! Oh!
Then there's lemons dropping down. You know, like in the lyrics of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the lemon drops? That's fucking desperate. My favorite's the cat cactus. That's creative, right? You get it? A cat cactus? There's even enemies that you can barely see, like this tiny mouse on the fence in the background. Like, are you kidding me? That doesn't even make sense from a perspective viewpoint. She's like standing in front of the fence. As far as trying to defend yourself from all this shit, you're screwed. Dorothy has 2 attacks, shooting magical items that she collects or kicking. The only thing effective is shooting at things, but your ammo runs out extremely quick and it's very rare to find more. In fact, only a few stages in the whole game have this ammo, which comes in the form of gems or stars. Can you imagine how annoying this is? Take, for example, Super Mario World, okay? Imagine if there were no mushrooms, fire flowers, or anything throughout most of the game. You had to go back to the first stage every time you need something. Is that fair? But let's face it, you're gonna keep running out of ammo in the middle of a stage, so your main attack is the kick. It's all you have. Remember the scene from the movie where Dorothy kicks the shit out of a giant crow wearing a vest? Well, anyway, this kick is practically useless. Most enemies come from above. I mean, look. You can't kick while jumping either, which is really a problem. So in the air, you can't defend yourself. Unfortunately, you need to be in the air to jump your way through the game. She's carrying that fucking wand around. You wish she could just whack things with it, but no, it's just for decoration. What a joke. Most of the time, you're just constantly taking hits, hoping to have spare energy. Fuck. Shit. Along the way, you meet the other classic Oz characters. Thankfully, you can play as all of them, switch between them, and each of them have their own individual life bars, which makes it helpful. So when you lose energy, it doesn't affect the other characters. But their attack range doesn't improve much. The Scarecrow can use the pitchfork, which is okay, but you still can't attack while ducking or jumping. Now, Tin Man, what a miserable fuck. He raises the shittiness to a whole new level. He can't duck or jump at all. That fucking helps, right? Why not make a character in a platforming jumping game that can't jump? He's useless. A complete waste. And just to tease you, he's the only one who has 2 attacks. He can kick and use the axe. But what good is that if he's incapable of jumping?
Now, the lion's the best, and here's why.
Oh, the lion! I'm the lion from the Wizard of Oz! One time a rooster took a shit up inside of the barn. Let's have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Put him up, put him up. Oh, I like to wipe my ass with his tail. It's not my dick, it's my tail.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Look, we're trying to read this game. We're up to your part right now.
My part.
Now, here's how the line works in the game. Now, as far as the attacks go, he has like this weird bitch slap. Yeah, it's the equivalent of Scarecrow's pitchfork, and he's the only character besides Dorothy that can shoot stuff.
With a nook and a fuck and a fuck.
Hey man, did you just swear?
Yeah, fuck you, dick.
Now the only problem with the line is that after he dies only once,
Die,
he never comes back.
Now it's time to discuss the game's most fatal flaw. It's a glitch that defies all your gaming sensibilities. You fall through the platforms. No kidding. If you try to jump from an angle or land anywhere other than dead center, you're going through. Like, how in fuck hell do I miss jumping on something this big? I've never seen anything so ridiculous in my life. It makes the game virtually unplayable. A lot of times, I find myself rocking the D-pad back and forth to ensure that I land precisely where I want, and then sometimes, it still doesn't work. You just gotta take your time, plan each jump very carefully. Oh, I didn't know that was gonna happen, so no, you can't take your time. This is one of the hardest games I've ever played, but for all the wrong reasons. Every time you get game over, you have to enter a password to continue, and like any shitty game, it's long and tedious, and I swear, I had to enter this password about 50 times before I finished this game. Alright, I'm almost to the end of the stage, almost to the end. What? I died? Yeah, it doesn't matter if you reach the edge of the screen, you gotta be right on the arrow or above it. Have you ever seen a game be that picky? As long as I touch the right side of the screen, that should count. Another thing that pisses the shit out of me is that you can't jump down off ledges. Let's take a good game for example. Yep, referring back to Contra again. If you push down and the jump button at the same time, you jump down. Simple, right? But no, you can't do that in this game. Why is that such a big deal? Well, here's an example. I'm gonna get hurt by this green flame. You see, I just got hit. It's too high to jump over and it's too low to walk under. All I want to do is drop down the floor and walk underneath it. But the only way to do that is to walk all the way to the left, drop down, and now I can pass under. What a piece of shit. The layout of the game is absurd. The platforms are placed at complete random. Sometimes they're out of reach, and other times you can't distinguish between what you're allowed to jump on and what's decoration. So you just gotta jump around at the scenery until you find somewhere you can land. Like right now, I'm completely stumped. I can't go anywhere. Oh, okay, I can't jump on this big bright yellow thing, but this half-hidden hourglass that's partially in the background I can. Toward the end of the game, you fight the Wicked Witch. Well, I don't have any ammo to shoot at her, and because she's up on the ledge, I can't hit her since there's no jump attacks, which means Dorothy's out. That fucking kick won't get us anywhere. That seems like the only time when Tin Man can come in handy. But what the hell? Why is it that when I stand close, the axe disappears? It's like you gotta stand in the right spot.
Shit! Come on.
Oh, is that the witch? That's the witch. She's a bitch, not a witch.
Come on, you fucking green bitch. Melt.
Yeah, melt.
Melt like diarrhea in the hot sun.
Yeah, melt. Shove a broom right up her ass. Now, fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. Fuck wicked witch in the east, wicked witch in the west, wicked witch in my ass.
Now, shortly after the witch, you go in the Emerald City.
Yeah, the Emerald's shitty asshole.
Yeah, it's the last stage in the game.
Thank fucking God.
And to navigate this place is confusing as all hell.
Hell's confusing.
Yeah, there's times when you're wandering around without any clue where to go.
Yeah, what's that green thing?
That green... I don't know what the... Oh, that big emerald is a door?
Yeah, what are you, stupid?
Oh yeah, sure, that's easy to figure out. Now, this is the last room in the game.
About fucking time.
All you gotta do is get the 2 keys up on the top 2 corners.
Get up there.
Now, what the fuck? I mean, how am I supposed to get under this flame?
Piss on it.
Oh, fuck it. So, you get the 2 keys, and that's it. No end boss or anything special.
That sucks.
And the wizard tells you some bullshit that's not important, and then sends Dorothy home.
Oh, boom.
Yeah, the animation's stunning.
I thought it was a ball sack.
There's no place like home.
Wipe your ass on Toto.
There's no shitty game like this. I'm serious. Like, it shouldn't have been made. Like, it's almost half as bad as Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And I know it's been like 40-something reviews, and I'm still talking about Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but I'm serious. It's really almost that bad. Fuck this game. Watch it go. Damn! You just plastered the game on my ceiling with your shit.
I'm here to talk about a series of games based on stories from the Bible, all with weird, deformed cartridges made for Nintendo systems but without any endorsement from Nintendo. Like, take this one for example, Bible Adventures. Would you want to buy this with its weird baby blue cartridge? It's made by a Christian gaming company that makes unauthorized Nintendo games. Let's check it out.
Alright, 3 games in 1. You got Noah's Ark, Baby Moses, and David and Goliath. First, let's do Noah's Ark. Well, there's Noah. He moves pretty fast for an old guy. The objects to get the animals in the ark Holy shit, you just pick them up? Is that how Noah did it? He did it all by himself by picking the animals up and carrying them into the ark? Well, according to Bible Adventures, that's how it happened. So there's where you drop those fuckers off. You just bring them to the door, you let those bastards run in there. You get a checklist of all the animals you need, so it's pretty simple. Go find some more, bring them back. Fun, huh? I just can't get over that. He's an old man, and not only does he pick the animals up, he lifts them over his head. It doesn't even slow him down. How can such an old man be so strong? Have you ever tried to lift a horse? Not that easy. What the shit? Let alone a horse and an ox? Or fuck, a horse, a cow, and 2 oxen? What the fucking shit? Noah's so goddamn strong, he puts the Hulk to shame. And the poor creatures, they're so scared shitless, they don't even try to get away. Noah, man, nobody fucks with him. Not even Chuck Norris. The only animals that have the balls to fight back are the pigs. Stop it! Damn pig! I'm only trying to take you in the ark. There's gonna be a flood. What, do you want to die? Alright, that's it. You're gonna get it. So, what do? You grab that, whatever it is, and you knock that motherfucker out. Take that, bitch! Now I gotcha. You're going in the ark, you fucknut. I hate those pigs, but I also hate the oxen. You drop them every time you jump, so you gotta keep picking them back up again. The monkeys are also pretty damn annoying. Sometimes you gotta chase them all around. What a sight. Look, an old man climbing up a tree chasing monkeys. It's quite ridiculous. You fucking monkey, get back here! Now you're gonna get it. Take that, you monkey fuck! You're going in the ark. Another thing really amazing about Noah is that he can run so fast, he can actually outrun the screen, which is really annoying because you can't see where you're going, so you have to stop just to let the screen catch up. Another sign of a badly designed game. Now it looks like we got all the animals, except the snakes. Now that's gotta be tricky, right? Grabbing them's out of the question. So let's pick up that thing and try to knock them out. Well, I can knock them out, but if I don't catch them, they're gone. I can't catch them either. Shit. How do you get those damn snakes? Well, guess what? I'm trying to get the wrong snakes. But how can you blame me? They're the first snakes you see in the game. Well, check this out. I go in this cave, and this is real frustrating because to climb the walls, you have to jump and hit the A button at the perfect timing. Then once you get to the top, there you go. There's your snakes. So these are the real snakes you're supposed to get, not the ones in the trees. They're only decoys. Challenge is one thing, but why does this game have to fucking trick me? So don't get the snakes that you first see when you're walking around. Go take a wild guess. Climb through the cave until you find the real ones. Fuck this game. Now you thought that was bad? A game where you collect a bunch of objects to bring back to the middle of the board? How could it get any worse? Just watch. Our next game is Baby Moses. Alright, well, the object of the game is to get to the end of the level carrying Baby Moses. Now, this is really annoying because while carrying him, there's no way to defend yourself from everything that's out to kill you, and I do mean everything. If the soldiers catch Baby Moses, they throw him in the water. What assholes. And what's with this theme of carrying things? It's actually kind of a rip-off of Super Mario Bros. 2. Even the graphics kind of remind me of it, except for those chocolate cats. Speaking of carrying things, look how many things she can stack. What kind of picture is this? Moses' mom carrying baby Moses, carrying a block of cheese, carrying a guy carrying a spear? I never thought I'd see that. Beware the black spaces. If you jump through them, you fall in the water and die. Whoa! Either that or I guess it shoots baby Moses up in the sky. What's going on? This game sucks ass. God, this is annoying. The only way to have any fun at all is to throw baby Moses in the water and then go explore the level without him. This is a weird game. What other game could you ever say, I just threw baby Moses in the water? For some reason, I can't stop saying baby Moses. baby Moses, baby Moses. When you finish the level, it says good work, but you forgot baby Moses. I didn't forget him, I just didn't want him. Well, there's only one shitty game left, David and Goliath. Well, you're going around carrying sheep. Yeah, are you surprised? The object is to bring 4 sheep to this blinking arrow to advance to the next level. The originality just stuns me. And you know what? All 3 games use the same music. You'd rather listen to your only infant child puking to death. That is, choking on his own puke chunks. That's disgusting. I apologize. Those sheep are a bitch to carry, especially if you're trying to get past the lion. That lion hates sheep and anybody who carries sheep. However, if you go past them without the sheep, they don't give a shit. I can even pick the lion up and it doesn't care. Sure, try that in real life. Pick up a lion and see what happens. And while you're at it, just try to punch that lion in the nuts. Yeah, right in the fucking nuts. You can even use an acorn to knock the lion out. Damn, I wouldn't want to get hit by one of those acorns. Those lions are fucking wusses. What? What happened? Did you see that? That lion just fell flat on his ass. And he fell at the same time as this squirrel. So who knocked them both out? Well, let's take a look at the whole replay and see what happened. Here we see this squirrel throws an acorn. It clobbers the lion. Bam! Now let's back up a bit. Just before he gets hit, this other squirrel throws an acorn, which comes right back down, and bam! He knocked himself out with his own acorn. Dumb shit. Anyway, let's go get some sheep. I like the sheep sound effects. Come on, you damn sheep. I'm not gonna hurt you. Sheepy, sheepy. Sheepy, sheepy, sheepy. Fuck this. I feel like a stupid asshole going after all these sheep for no reason. The most fun I have in this game is watching that weird squirrel. I'm telling you, that squirrel does some weird shit. 1 minute it's sleeping, then it's running up and over the tree, and oh my god, look at that! It's a flying squirrel! Or it's like climbing the sky. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is! Wow, they were on drugs when they made this game. Later in the game, you get a weapon, some kind of fireball or something, I don't know, but it sucks. It's just like the rock in Friday the 13th. It arcs over everybody you try to hit. What good is a weapon that doesn't go straight? Like, it deliberately dodges your target. What a piece of shit. Now, I know I'm sucking pretty bad at this, but unless you've played it, you have no idea how friggin' awful the controls are. It just feels slippery, and you feel like you have to force everything you're doing. But that only makes it more likely to overshoot a jump or undershoot it trying not to. Doesn't help either that there's all these rocks coming down. And finally, when I get up here, it's not even worth it because there's nowhere to go. I can't even go in those caves. So that's enough of this shit. Well, that's Bible Adventures. You thought that was weird? Well, wait till you see Bible Buffet. Yeah, Bible Buffet. When I first heard the title, I just didn't get it. My only guess is it has to do with food and the Bible. Well, guess what? I got half of that right. It definitely has to do with food, but there's no mention of anything from the Bible anywhere in this whole game. What is this I'm looking at? It's a board game? In fact, it's a ripoff of Candyland. Just look at it. All the different food-themed lands like Potato Land, Barbecue Land, Pizza Land, Dessert Land.
Player 1.
Oh my god, it's talking. Well, you spin the wheel, and you make some moves just like any board game. Then you get to play all these weird mini games which sort of resemble an Atari game. The sound effects are classic. And it definitely resembles Attack of the Killer Tomatoes more than it does the Bible. So you lay down all these exploding pancakes which blow up everything. I think they're supposed to be oil drums or something, but everything else is some kind of food, so I'm just going to call them exploding pancakes. I mean, this is just fucking weird. It might as well be anything. I mean, look at all this stuff that's trying to kill me. Potato chips and pizzas and pork chops and bottles, watermelons, ice cream cones, ice cubes, and cans of like soda coming out of a vending machine? Look, a snowman. Watch this. I'm gonna blow his fucking head off. Yeah, that snowman's dead as shit. I just pushed that thing into the exit, but there's no way to get it back out. So now I blocked myself from finishing the level, and my only choices now are to reset the game or commit suicide. Every once in a while you get a little quiz. True or false? I guess true. True or false? I guess false. What the hell am I guessing? It would help if I had the questions. You know where they are? They're in the manual. So unless you still have the manual, let alone have the fucking game, you're not going to know what the questions are. Now, what was the problem with putting the questions on the screen? Why didn't they do that instead? What were they thinking?
All right.
That voice is just crazy. I don't know what it is, but it just sounds out of place. Not that anything is in place, but I don't know. It's so rare to hear such a clear voice in a Nintendo game. But I suppose it's also rare for Nintendo to have a Bible game with no references to the Bible, resembling Atari that's all about food trying to kill you, yet it's also a board game ripoff with quizzes that you can't answer. And if it's a Bible game, why do you blow a snowman's head off? Whatever happened to thou shall not kill? Please, somebody tell me, what the hell am I playing? I kind of like it, but I gotta turn it off before I go insane. So let's play another Bible game. It's the Book of Genesis on Sega Genesis, and the soundtrack is Genesis. I'm just making this up, but let's move on to Super Nintendo and check out this game that I'm actually not making up. I couldn't even come up with anything half as crazy if I tried. This is Super Noah's Ark 3D, yet it's also referred to as Super 3D Noah's Ark because of the way the title art's misrepresented. So, who knows? Call it whatever you want. Call it Super 3D Fuck Farts if you want. I know it's weird, but the weirdness actually starts with the cartridge. As you can see, it looks like no other Super Nintendo game you've ever seen. In fact, it doesn't even look like a game at all. It looks more like a Game Genie. By this time, I believe Nintendo was catching on to the fact that Wisdom Tree was making these Bible games for their system without their permission. So what I think happened was, when Super Nintendo came out, they put a new lockout chip inside the system, which only allows games licensed by Nintendo to work. So, how many Super Nintendo games came out not licensed by Nintendo? Well, just one, and it found a way. By plugging an official Super Nintendo game into the top of it, it overrides the lockout chip and you can play it. The question is, would you want to? Well, actually, yeah, you would. What other first-person shooter game do you get to play as Noah? I really can't believe this game exists, but it seems to be a fact because I'm playing it. Now, does it look like Wolfenstein 3D? Yes. In fact, it is Wolfenstein 3D. It doesn't even count as a ripoff. It's the same fucking game, but with Noah. Instead of shooting Nazis, he's shooting goats. All the levels are exact duplicates, but what's really funny to know is that there's a story going around that id, the company that made Wolfenstein and Doom, they gave their own game to Wisdom Tree for them to turn into this. Why? Well, according to the rumor, id was pissed off that the Super Nintendo version of Wolfenstein was inferior to the PC version, and that Nintendo basically butchered it by toning down the violence as well as altering numerous other things. So, as some sort of joke or whatever, id handed the source code over to Wisdom Tree for them to make the mockery which you're looking at now. And there's a bit of a conspiracy going on. According to the Bible, Noah puts 2 of each animal in the ark, right? Well, according to this game, he put a whole bunch of goats on there. And if that's not crazy enough, guess what? All those goats want Noah dead. Damn, why is there so many of them, and why do you shoot them with a slingshot? I think that would actually make them more angry. I can't even see what you're supposed to be shooting at them anyway. It just looks invisible. It's supposed to be food, I guess, but why does it put the animals to sleep? Well, I guess Noah shoots the food so hard that it knocks the animals unconscious. Now, what's even stranger is how they attack you. They just do like these weird kicks from a mile away and they hit you. Like, how do they even reach? Listen to how cheerful the music is. Wow, that's great. It's just what you need is some really upbeat music to go along with Noah getting murdered by a bunch of fucking goats. So, that's it. There's more animals along the way, but you get the idea. So, as we've seen, every one of these Bible games rips off something. So just to show you another example, let's take a look at Spiritual Warfare on the Nintendo. Okay, right off the bat, what does this game look like? Well, here's some hints. Look, it's an aerial view with like bushes and rocks. You start off with 3 hearts for health. You hold 2 items, you go into a little cave and you talk to someone. And when you walk to the next area, the screen moves. There's that square-shaped stairwell. And there's a raft. You go down ladders with gray stone walls. And when you start the game, you get to type in a name. Well, if you can't already tell what this game looks like, let me spell it out. That's right, Zelda. Let's recap, shall we? In Zelda, we have an aerial view with bushes and rocks. You start off with 3 hearts for the health. You hold 2 items. You go into a little cave and you talk to someone. And when you walk to the next area, the screen moves. There's that square-shaped stairwell. You go down the ladders with the gray stone walls. There's your raft. And when you start the game, you type in a name. What a shameless ripoff. Well, at least they came up with a few original ideas, like sometimes when you kill your enemies, a flying devil comes out. And besides just the usual rocks and bushes or trees or whatever, they randomly have all these garbage cans placed about. That's where this game belongs, the fucking garbage. Alright, let's play one more game. King of Kings. Oh great, 3 more games. Fuck, let's do Wise Men. Well, you're on a camel. You're basically just trying to ride to the end of the level. Your obstacles include lizards, a cactus that comes up out of the ground, flying rocks, porcupines shooting needles, moving pitfalls, and blocks that come down and stun you. Just like in Bible adventures, the control is really awkward, but here it's so bad it's nearly unplayable. So every once in a while, you pick up these scrolls that make you answer questions about the Bible, like who is Jesus' mother? Well, that would be Mary. Now, why are there quizzes in the middle of this game? Quizzes aren't fun. Quizzes make you feel like you're in school. Games are fun. Quizzes, not fun. Put them together. So, you'd probably rather just play the game than answer the questions, which would be a good reason to just avoid the scrolls. But if you get the questions right, you get energy, which you want. Now, a lot of these questions are true or false, and once you get used to that, you tend to not look at the words true and false, because you instinctively assume true always comes above false. But no, not with this game. They alternate just to trick you. Many times I accidentally pick false when I mean to pick true. I mean, what's up with that shit? Just keep them the same. Now let's try Flight to Egypt. It's bad. Alright, Jesus in the Temple, last fucking game. Let's get it over with. Okay, another rip-off of Super Mario Bros. 2, where you're jumping on logs to get across the waterfall. Well, at least they upped the challenge on those logs, but it's just flat-out annoying. The logs have the most erratic pattern. Sometimes you jump too early thinking that the next log is going to come, but it doesn't. Then, just to tease you, it pops up at the bottom, crawling up the waterfall just to sit there and mock you. Other times, the second log shows up, but once you're on it and expecting the third one, it doesn't come. But just for one final kick in the balls, it throws all these other logs down to make you think that you can salvage it and jump your way back to safety to try again. But no, not quite. The graphics are really flawed. I mean, usually you know to time your jumps once you see that log coming up over the waterfall, but sometimes they just appear at random, which doesn't give you enough time to react. Also, what's going on with those colors in the sky? Looks like something you might see if you take too much LSD. There's really nothing else worth mentioning with this game. It just sucks, and I can't even stand to play it anymore. I'd rather fuck a porcupine and shove a cactus up my ass. I'd rather slurp crap oozing out of a warthog's anus hole. It's just a bunch of poopy, diarrhea, doo-doo ass shit. That's it. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Kwanzaa, happy birthday Jesus, whatever. Happy holidays. See ya in 2007.
Shaq Fu. Just the name makes people cringe. Like you don't even want to go there. So it's a fighting game with a storyline that begins with Shaq wandering into a Chinese shop for whatever reason, and an old man tells him he has to save some kid. So Shaq just goes along with it, steps in the portal, and ends up in the second world. I guess we live in the first world, so this is the second. So you're wandering around fighting everybody you meet, including a goblin sort of thing, some crazy cat bitch, a Persian prince I guess, and all kinds of weird aliens and a mummy warrior. I never even heard of such a thing. I just don't know about this. It's really weird. I kind of liked Full House Tournament Fighter. At least that had more appropriate characters. Now, this is one of those multi-console games which appeared on both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis Mega Drive console, and most of the time the Super Nintendo version was better, which means I'd really hate to see the Genesis version. Now, besides the ridiculous concept, the dull sound effects, and everything else, the rotten core where this game's stank bullshit stems from is in its godforsaken control. The controls are mutilated, fucking atrocious. They're especially unresponsive when you're trying to execute a special move, and most of the time, you find yourself trying to get close enough to your opponent to hit him. You just end up jumping all around until the clock runs out. This game falls between the ass crack of basketball fans and fighting game fans. It doesn't please anybody. I also gotta mention that there also used to be a website dedicated to finding and destroying every cartridge of this game. It's that bad. Now I can go into depth and describe the controls and every last detail why this game is so god-awful, but I don't even have to. The name says it all. The title doesn't even sound good. Shaq Fu? It's like a joke. I mean, just the fact that they can release a fighting game starring Shaquille O'Neal and call it Shaq Fu pretty much proves that you could put Fu at the end of anything. How about Robin Williams Fu or U2 Fu? I mean, who came up with this shit? What, were they smoking crack up their ass? Welcome to another sacrilegious Christmas fuckfest. Now, 2 years ago, I played a bunch of Bible games. Yeah, now would you believe there's actually more of them? Like, who makes video games based off the Bible? Why would you do that? These games suck ass. If I was God, I'd be pissed. First, let's check out Exodus, Journey to the Promised Land. What the hell's this? To start the game, please wait up to 9 flashes on TV screen. Power on, please wait 7 seconds between power off and power on. Wow, quite a lot of instructions just to start the damn game. You play as Moses. I guess on his journey to the Promised Land, he had to go through labyrinths and shooting W's at everything and collect sacks with the letter M. I don't know about this one. It's just a puzzle game. It's playable. Basically, you have to collect a certain amount of items in order for an exit to appear. I'm not even sure exactly what the items are, but it pretty much means that you have to uncover every square. Oh, this is so redundant. It's really one of those games where you need a turbo controller. So the exit appears, you take it, and then you get a bunch of Bible questions, like the king of Egypt told the Hebrew midwives to kill male babies, kill all babies, kill all babies? I'm playing an NES game that says kill all babies? And you know what? That's the wrong answer, so that obviously means it's something they made up. Kill all babies! So for every question you answer correctly, you get, what else? A Bible, and then you get a violent picture of somebody being whipped, and then it's on to the next level. Oh, this is so monotonous. Obviously, I'm going all the way in the middle. Oh no, now I gotta go all the way back. Oh, fucking hell. This is ridiculous. So then I get back out, I finish up all the crap I gotta do. Oh, so I guess it's the question marks I gotta get. And then what? Where's the exit? Oh, it's back over there? Oh my lord. I've had enough with this shit. Alright, next up, let's try Noah's Ark. Haven't we played this already? Remember in Bible Adventures, there were 3 games, one of which was Noah's Ark, that stupid shit where you're picking up stacks of animals? Then of course there's the infamous Super Noah's Ark 3D, the only unlicensed Super NES game, which happens to be a clone of Wolfenstein, where you're going around shooting goats. So now we have yet another game based off of Noah's Ark, but there's something very different about this one. What's that? It was actually licensed by Nintendo. Who made this? Okay, now I'm really curious. Okay, who would have thought this would actually be decent? Well, it was only released in Europe, which means it's in the PAL format, and it can't be played on any North American NES, unless you have the top loader. That plays anything.
The game's not bad, but it's fucking weird. Why are there Native Americans in Noah's time? And why does he turn into a fish? If he and all the animals could turn into fish, they wouldn't even need the fucking ark. Also, it's generally a pain in the ass because enemies can drain half your life bar with one hit. Even the tiniest things such as bees, which take almost all your life. And there's lots of things you can't even touch at all, or you die instantly. This makes it almost pointless to even have a life bar. Also, there's hidden bonus stages, but if you find one of them, it doesn't bring you back. So rather than returning you to the game where you left off, it puts you back at the beginning of the stage, which is fucking bullshit. But overall, I would at least go as far to call it a game. Alright, what's next? Oh, Joshua. This one looks fun, right? Oh no. Doesn't this look familiar? It's the same thing as Exodus. Well, that scratches that off the list. What's the point of discussing the same game twice? The only difference is that you're Joshua, I assume, and that there's a voice. But what's even stranger, this game is a copy of a game, which is a copy of another game, Crystal Mines. Damn. Well, here's a little history lesson. Color Dreams was the company making all these unlicensed games for the NES, like Captain Comic, Secret Scout, and Raid 2020. Maybe I'll review that in the year 2020. Anyway, Color Dreams, for whatever reason, decided they wanted to start doing Bible games, now under the name Wisdom Tree. Essentially, they were recycling some of their old Color Dreams games and adding Christian themes. For example, here we have Menace Beach, which was turned into Sunday Fun Day. Let's check it out. So this is Menace Beach. Basically, you're some kid on a skateboard trying to rescue some girl. It's plagued by god-awful control, a pathetic attack range, and the most annoying level design I've ever seen. But the most interesting thing about this game is that between each level, you see your girlfriend begging you to rescue her, and each time, her clothes gradually disappear. The first time playing this, I didn't even realize what was happening. She says, "I've been here so long, my clothes are starting to rot." Seriously, that's the only explanation. I think she would die of starvation before her clothes would rot. But the funny thing is that it's a strangely effective way to get you to play the game because just for curiosity's sake, it makes you wonder how much of her clothes are going to come off. It's like, hey, we got this horrible, shitty game, but there's a girl taking her clothes off, so you gotta keep playing. How did this turn into a Bible game? Well, let's find out. Here comes Sunday Fun Day. It might interest you to know, this is actually the last game ever made for the NES, and it was as late as 1995. Oh, no, there's 3 games! Oh boy, well let's try them all. Here's Fishfall. Okay, you're a hand trying to grab falling fish and throw them up into a floating basket. What does this have to do with the Bible? What does catching parachuting fish and throwing them up at an electric eel have to do with the Bible? Oh, okay, it's got some Bible verses thrown in. Now it makes perfect sense. Okay, let's try For Him. What? It's karaoke? Oh, please. Now that I've wasted my time with all that, let's play Sunday Fun Day. Well, it's identical to Menace Beach. Just look at the title screens. It's the same exact game. Now, there are a few minor differences, but we'll get to them as we go. Instead of trying to rescue your girl, you're not even gonna believe this when I tell you, you're trying to get to Sunday school. Yeah. Now, as much as that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard for a game, what I don't understand is why that's so difficult. Who are these raging atheists that don't want you to go to church? It's bad enough that the entire town's trying to stop you, but what's with the flying clowns, the old ladies coming out of boxes, and animals coming out of sewer holes? What's this guy's problem? Like, why does everyone want him dead? I'd say he's having quite a day. And the funny thing is, he probably gets to church and doesn't even mention it. Like, oh, what'd you do on this Sunday morning before church? Oh, well, I flew on a balloon that I got from some clown, and then I went through the sewers and beat up a bunch of plumbers. I hopped on some frog and bounced around on a bunch of springs and shit. Then I threw a bomb and blew some guy's fucking face off. Yeah, look at the face. Ooh, God, that's so violent. Now, instead of the stripping chick, you get this annoying bitch who does nothing but nag you. Get your ass to Sunday school. The only other thing I've noticed that's been changed are some of the enemies. Ninjas are now kids, and these Elvis-looking guys are now plumbers. Maybe ninjas were too violent, and Elvis's devilish rock and roll was too much for a religious game. But everything else fits perfectly fine. Why does a bird come out every time you kill someone, and why they turn from white to black? Kind of like a reverse Michael Jackson. Your attack is so pathetic. It seems you have to keep skating past people while tapping the button, and I never figured out the right timing. It's just luck whether you hit them or not. What are you supposed to be doing anyway? Just spinning around? Look at this. I'm still trying to hit this guy. Finally. Oh, fuck. Another real piss off is that it keeps going dark. Seems like I'm running into that problem a lot with games lately. It's so annoying. You have to keep hitting the switches to keep the room bright. Oh, come on, get the damn switch. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, man. I really hate those springs. All I'm trying to do is go down and to the right, but I can't make it. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, God. When you don't want the springs to bounce you around, they do. And when you want them to, they don't. What the fuck? Why didn't it bounce me? There's also these squares that make you fall through the pipes. I don't know what that's about. Some enemies you can only kill with bombs, and trying to get them to stand near a bomb is ridiculously hard. Come on. Of course he's not going to come near it. Okay, there. Perfect. He's laughing. He's got 2 bombs ready to blow, and he walks away. Okay, there's another one. Of course, he goes right past it. Oh, there he goes. Fuck. Okay, look at this. This is nice. I'm stuck. I need a balloon to fly over the hole, but I need to go back to get the balloon. Too bad I can't jump high enough, so it's time to commit suicide. Here's the problem. This little ledge shouldn't be here. It's pointless because once you're there, you're stuck. Oh, fuck. Get me away from the bombs. I hate those fucking springs. Gah! Oh, got lucky there. I hate those fucking things. They're the worst. Damn! Oh, this game is so annoying. Look at this. I got trapped in some sort of pipe. There's no way down. What I'm trying to do is get on the floor and go under it. But there's a fucking spring that comes up. Then there's that damn switch making it go dark. I get bounced all over the place. Man, just get down there. Oh, 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 fuck. I'm surprised. This game is actually really hard. It's one of the hardest I've ever played. Mostly because of this shit right here. You have to bounce on a bunch of springs. Some bounce you up and some bounce you down. The idea is not to touch the ones that bounce you down or else you die. But there's no clear distinction. They all look the same. At first, there's a pattern. Up, down, down. That's real nice. So it fucking fools you into thinking that there's a pattern, and then it just throws you off. But trying to avoid those down springs is almost impossible. Oh my fuck. Fuck this game. Fuck this fucking piece of shit. Oh man, I'm doing good. Holy shit, I might actually make it. Fuck! Oh boy.
Alright, well, that's enough with that one. It's time to wrap things up. I got something to blow the lid off the crap barrel. Time to flick the shit switch, turn up the diarrhea dial. It's Bible games on CDI. Yeah, we're living on the edge. More like living on a prayer.
First, we have Moses, the Exodus. Honestly, there's not much to say. It's basically an educational tool with some games thrown in. First, there's Pyramid Pursuit. This is the main game. Basically, you're exploring a pyramid. It's a point-and-click game, but not a good one that actually makes you think. This one is a no-brainer. It flat out explains what you're supposed to do. Go this way, go that way. The voices are the fuckest baloney shit you'll ever hear.
I'm an idol worshipped by many. There's someone downstairs who worships me.
What is it, a robot? But let me give you a quick tour of the other stuff. First, you have this animated story about Moses.
Moses trusted God. He knew that no matter what, God would take care of him.
Then you have Tell Me More, which is basically just more history lessons about the Bible.
In the time of Moses, a sacrifice might be an animal like an ox.
Then you have the Bible, which is just scripture from the Bible. Then you have the Playroom. The first thing you'll notice is the sing-along. It's just a bunch of karaoke songs.
Moses and me, we've got a choice to make. Leading the way, I've got to do it.
But tell me, why is Moses and Me graffitied on a wall? Then there's a slider puzzle. Nothing to say about that. Then there's the coloring book, and this is where things become really ass. It's kind of like Mario Paint, but really hard to control. Seriously, your pointer just jumps all over the place. And what the hell's going on here? Leprosy? That's nice. Then there's this connect the dots bullshit. If you miss the dot, you get this irritating voice.
Whoops.
If you get the dot,
Whoops.
you get the irritating voice.
Yippee!
And it never fucking stops.
Yippee! Yippee! Whoops. Yippee! 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 Whoops. Yippee!
Is that really necessary? Like, what are they, fucking crazy? Well, anyway, that's about all there is to say about that. The other two games are the same deal.
They all have the same puzzle games, sing-along, and all that. The only real difference is the main games. David and Goliath has this board game.
I am Goliath.
You've landed on Goliath Square. That'll send him back.
It doesn't make much sense because you never see the entire board, so you don't know where Goliath is. That's like if you were playing Monopoly and you put your face up to the game. You never know what's going on. The last game, Story of Sansom, has a game called Riddler's Race. So was the Riddler in the Bible? I didn't know that. So basically, you're a harpist on your way to play the harp at Sansom's wedding. But there's a bunch of people after you, and if they catch you, you have to answer a Bible riddle. Yep, that's it.
Alright, well, I think I'm done. There's not really any more Bible games, or at least ones that actually qualify as games. There's one on Game Boy called the King James Bible. It's extremely rare, but all it is literally the whole Bible on a Game Boy cartridge. So I'm going to draw the line right there. So have a happy holidays and all that good shit. Merry Christmas to all, and all good fucking night.
Color Dreams was the company making all these unlicensed games for the NES, like Captain Comic, Secret Scout, and Raid 2020. Maybe I'll review that in the year 2020.
This is what we all been waiting for. Well, I hope you didn't expect much, because it was a throwaway line. You know, the year 2020, I'll be reviewing Raid 2020. I wish I didn't say that. It was like pissing up a drainage pipe. It all comes back to you. I mean, I figured that's a long time. I mean, who knows if I'll even still be alive or the Earth would even exist anymore, but here we are. So what am I going to do? Bail out? I mean, I could. It was just a hypothetical quote. It wasn't legally signed and notarized. I said maybe I'll review it. Like maybe if I do.
we can all shut the fuck up about it. It was one of those unlicensed baby blue cartridges made by Color Dreams, which I already talked about, or I think I talked about it. Did I? Oh, really? I'm asking, did I? Because it was a long time ago. I can't remember shit now. So, what the hell? Good stories are worth retelling. Basically, Color Dreams was making unlicensed NES games, much to the ire of Nintendo, and Nintendo decided if they weren't making money off of these pieces of shit, then nobody else should. Executives from Nintendo then contacted all retailers who were selling Color Dreams games and demanded they stop, or their supply of real NES games would be cut off. Yeah, imagine a game store that didn't have any Mario game, but it had Castle of Deceit and Deathbots and Menace Beach and all that shit. And back then, retailers couldn't afford to be cut off by Nintendo, so they just had to say, hey, sorry Color Dreams, you're gonna have to fuck off. And then Color Dreams, without anywhere to sell their games, thought, what would Jesus do? Yeah, so Color Dreams rebranded to Wisdom Tree, or more like stupid-ass piece of shit tree, and sold their games in Christian bookstores, which weren't selling video games to begin with. They were selling Christian books. On top of this, they figured Nintendo wouldn't go after Christian bookstores, or else they'd suffer the wrath of God. Because if there's one person Nintendo knew they couldn't tangle with, it was Jesus fucking Christ. And as you know, they switched over to making Bible games, and even before that, they already had the market cornered with shitty, unlicensed, mediocre garbage that Nintendo wanted nothing to do with, and that's how we have Raid 2020. Honestly, the cyberpunk cover art looks pretty cool with that Blade Runner vibe. Blade Runner took place in 2019, so was Raid 2020 trying to be a bootleg sequel or something? Probably not, since the working title of the game was Drug Tsar. Drug Tsar. Well, on with the game. Let's play Drug Tsar 2020. Now that's a title screen. You got an Uzi machine gun and a bottle of moose pills or something, and I think those are lines of cocaine? I like this here. Winners fight drugs. Like it's not enough to say no to drugs. That's pussy shit. In the year 2020, if you want to be a winner, you gotta actually fight drugs. Yeah, that's one hell of a thought. Could you imagine fighting drugs, literally? Just getting a big sack of drugs and just punching the shit out of it Rocky Balboa style? Yeah, speed bag. With actual speed. Alright, I'm gonna start this filth up again for you, but first, let's take in this moment. I'm playing Raid 2020 in the year 2020. AD 2020, a plague of... By the way, I had to do a freeze frame here because it flashes by so quickly you'll never have time to read it. Narcotics transcending the bounds of race, economy, and time have put a stranglehold on America... Wait, what the fuck? Transcending time? The drugs are transcending time? What, like they're coming from the future? You're going into the future to get the drugs? Or the people from the future are traveling back to sell them? I mean, I don't know what, but if you had the capability of time travel, you gotta be really doped up if the first thought on your mind is getting more drugs. So you play as a drug enforcement guy, or detective, or private, whatever, but he looks more shady than any of the enemies you gun down. He's like a criminal from a cartoon. He looks like the dude on the neighborhood watch sign. And his name is Shadow. Ooh, Shadow. My first major complaint is that the B and A buttons are switched, with B for jump and A for attack. But I'm beginning to think that's actually more common now, meaning actual good games are less standard than this mountain of turkey turds. Now speaking of turds, it's not that common when a game that shit actually has shit in it. The birds fire feces all over the place. And what's really great, the thing I absolutely love, is that you can shoot the shit. I never played this game in any year other than 2020, but I couldn't imagine this in the 80s, going into school and telling my friends I was just playing this Nintendo game where I shot up a bunch of mutant bird turds. But the real funny thing, and what this game might be alluding to, is that there actually was a sport in the 60s and 70s, mostly in Eastern Europe and South Africa, which was actually shooting bird turds, because it was like a high-level skill. It was one thing to shoot a bird, but to time it right when the turds are dropping from its foul anus... Actually, nobody does that, I'm just kidding. Okay, where was I? Oh, the game. The objective is simple. You kill drug dealers. Tons of them. All kinds. Some are tall, some are short, some are sad, some are glad, and some are very, very bad. Why are they sad and glad and bad? I do not know. Go ask your dad. You even have cyborg drug dealers. Now, I'm willing to accept the idea of fighting drug-dealing cyborgs, But what's with the birds, bats, and bugs? Is nature attacking too? Just for the hell of it? Are the animals all high on drugs? Is that what's going on here? Are the birds bad guys? Is that why they're wearing eye masks like the Hamburglar? And there's poop-splattered anuses on the floor, and if you step on them, you're dead instantly. And yeah, I looked them up in the instruction manual, and that's what they're called. Poop-splattered anuses. Yeah, now you're not going to trust anything I say, but if you believe one thing, it's that this game is garbage. It's shit packed to the most dense capacity. Revolting controls, putrid piss graphics, vomitous audio, baffling glitches, made from the imagination of a stink bug, and above all, it's repetitive. You just gun down everything in sight for hours and hours. Man, this guy has such a high body count. He's a flat-out serial killer. I mean, I know he's a cop taking down bad guys, but what was the crime again? Drugs? Well, I mean, I get the game is anti-drugs, and sure, drugs are bad, but what's the punishment? Murder? It's basically a crap version of the arcade game Narc, where you shoot the fuck out of drug dealers. Well, Narc was already made into a crappy NES game, so this game is a shittier version of the shitty version of Narc. For a game about going on a shooting spree, your gun is almost useless. Your bullet disappears if you fire another one too soon, so you can't hit the button rapidly, or else your bullets won't go anywhere. It's kind of like taking a shit on an escalator. You watch that log of dookie go up, 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 up until it's gone, and then it just comes back again with a whole new... And it's not like that at all, sorry. Every now and then you go through a door and slip into this alternate side level where you have to hop across what looks like these wooden support beams for piers. You wouldn't think these things would be such a nuisance, but try jumping across them and you get that choppy perception, that special shitty slippery feeling you get when playing garbage bin NES games. And where the hell am I supposed to be anyway? Looks like the training stage from Karate Kid. Oh look, there he is! Oh, fuck! Back to the main part of the stage, moving around sucks. You think pressing up or down would make you go up or down, but instead you move diagonally. They had to get fancy with it. I think a 3D perspective was a little too ambitious for a game that can't even get B and A right. Sometimes I'll try to go in a door and accidentally step on a mine, and other times I'll want to get away from a door and get stuck going in and out. It requires a level of precision this game doesn't deserve. The whacked out perspective only gets fuckier when you get the jetpack, which can only be found in the left door. Don't even try to enter the right door. All it does is send you to the left door without the jetpack on. Please, tell me if that makes any sense, because I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind here! But anyway, this jetpack is the best thing this game has to offer. Now you can just fly over half the level and access items that you couldn't reach. There's boots all over the place and I have no idea what they do. I thought they'd let you walk over the poop-splattered anuses, but sometimes it works and other times you get blown the fuck up.
I got blowed up.
There's also upgrades for your gun, but the projectiles just dance around the enemies like in Fester's Quest, especially the one that fires in a circle. How is that supposed to hit anything? Like, look at this shit. I can't even kill this crow. Maybe the bullets are made of crows. When you beat the level, it says, "Good job, Shadow. Drug trafficking activity has decreased, but the pier is still infested with dealers. Go save our pier?" Wow. So we're not fucking around here. We really have to kill every single person we see. Damn. So let's go back through the level and gun down every last degenerate fuck. Dead, 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 dead. Okay, did I kill enough fucking people? I don't see anyone else. So, I exit the level again, and... What the fuck? Who did I miss? All that's left are the bugs, birds, and bats. Are they all drug dealers too? Wow, what a bleak future Color Dreams painted for the year 2020. The drug epidemic's gotten so bad that even the local wildlife is trying to get you high. Could you imagine walking through the park and a pigeon's trying to get you hooked on heroin? Okay, I figured it out, and you're not gonna believe this. Extra enemies will respawn when you hit the select button. Yeah, when you bring up the menu and then come back out of the menu, there'll be certain enemies there that weren't there before. So you have to go back through every room hitting the select button to make them all show up. Yeah, I walked through this level like 5 times, and there was only one enemy left to kill. Well, damn. You think maybe we could have let that one guy live?
I mean, after all, he was hiding in a room after you just laid waste to everything on the pier. I mean, after witnessing the death of all his drug-dealing friends, don't you think maybe he'll change his ways? Well, in the year 2020, winners fight drugs. Alright, so I killed the last guy, and finally, I'm off to the second level. It starts up and whoa! I'm on a boat now? Well, at least the game has some variety. There's a tiny helicopter face-fucking me. I'm stuck in between an alligator with whiskers and a coked-up killer whale. This is quite a scene. It's drug-fueled madness where you can't touch anything. Rocks kill you in one hit, turrets shoot in every direction, helicopters slam into you, orcas are swimming everywhere, and of course, logs of shabby-looking chocolate bars that fell in the toilet next to a log of shit. You can upgrade your weapon here, but now you move at half the speed, so you're not doing much to help yourself, like blowing your nose into a tissue that you just used to wipe your asshole. You just gotta destroy all the helicopters, and now we're ready to move on to level 3. You know, so far, for a game that takes place in the year 2020, it seems fairly accurate. I mean, there's no flying cars or futuristic shit, just piers, boats, seagulls that attack, exaggerated but still set in a normal world. So, unlike Street Fighter 2010, I think Color Dreams actually got the time period correct. Oh boy! Holy shit! It's the space city of Technopolis, populated with robots, flying saucers, blue worms, electric snowballs, guys with faces impaled with bazookas. Yeah, that's the style in 2020. And you can turn into a spaceship shooting sonic booms or a motorcycle. Now, this is the future I was expecting. Then you get a message saying to destroy the drug satellite, and then wait. Drug satellite? Drug satellite. Wow. Now my mind's blown. They're actually broadcasting the drugs via satellite. Oh, well, it is the year 2020. I mean, maybe now they're actually doing that. I mean, that's how I feel playing this. Like I'm going insane. Whoa, what now? The game turned into Action 52. Oh my God. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just mashing buttons hoping I'm hitting shit. Next stage is back to normal. Running around the laundry room fighting giant mice. Yeah, that's normal for this game. Sadly though, I died and ran out of continues. I'm sorry, but I'm not playing that boat level or getting gangbanged by the drug satellite and its blue balls another 50 times, so I'm gonna use a level skip code. And this code, you're not gonna believe how you do it. I mean, seriously, you are going to think I am making it up. But I promise you, for real, this is actually how you do the code. You need to plug in the second controller. Why you have to plug in the second controller to enter a code for a one-player game is beyond me. So on controller 1, you hold up and A, and on controller 2, you hold up. Have fun with that. Then you let go on the first controller and hit the B button, and then hold B to hit select. Keeping in mind, you don't just hold B, it's a tap and a hold. I guess they figured they fucked up the game so bad, they might as well make the code something so secret that no one will ever guess how it's done. Well, I would have never guessed that. So mission accomplished. And that's not all. You have to do it during gameplay, not at the title screen, not while paused. It's the only code I know of that's this complicated and that you also have to do while fending off enemies. Imagine if you're trying to do the Contra code, but you had to plug in an NES 4 score and 4 controllers. On controller 1, you hit up, up. On controller 2, down, down. On controller 3, left, right. And on controller 4, hit B, A, start. What was Color Dreams thinking? I bet nuclear launch codes aren't as complicated as this. So, back to the shit show. I'm getting shot at from all angles. There's robots, turrets, and mines all over the place. The goal is to destroy the villain Pitbull's computers, and it's one of those where the fuck do you go kind of stages. I ran all around, but every door brought me back to the beginning. Then I found out by accident that you have to go into this black rectangle next to the doors to get to the top. You know, I don't even question anymore. At this point, I've seen almost everything. Oh, and these rectangles are everywhere, but it's only this specific one that actually does anything. And just to think, I found it by accident, by missing the door that I thought I was trying to get into. You know, it's like with this game, the only way to beat it is to fuck up your way into winning.
So you walk along the rafters, killing the giant mice and evil motherfucking molecules, until you get to this green thing that's apparently the computer card. But what's next? Well, then you drop down and enter the door. Now remember, you gotta enter the right door, the correct door, not the right one, because that sends you back. You gotta go to the left door, which leads to a red cave, and here you fight spiders and bats. Of course. There's also drug dealers, both human and robots. Then you have to take a wild guess and press down on one of these circles so you can enter, like Mario going down a pipe. And this is the only place in the game with these pits. So, seriously, how are you supposed to know that without blind guessing? Also, you need to enter a specific pit, the third one. All the others just lead back to the beginning. The third pit leads to a cave filled with spiders and 2 more pits. Luckily, this time I got the correct one on my first try. This leads you to a room with a dealer and 3 possible ways out. The sides just lead back out again, but the pit leads you to an identical room. You go in the pit again, and you find the room with the key. To get the key, you need to kill this giant fucking ant. If you don't have the gun upgrade, this thing is a pain. You have to run past it, and then stand on the drug dealer's head and jump up and down to shoot the ant. How fucked up on drugs is this dealer to let a cop jump on his head repeatedly? Just imagine this scene. A cop jumping off a drug dealer's head to shoot a giant ant. And this game is anti-drugs? Well, the developers had to be on something. So when you kill the ant, make sure you don't kill the dealer until you get the key. Otherwise, you can't make the jump and have to do the caves again. After getting the key, you just walk back to this door and enter Pitbull's lair. So here we go, the final confrontation. He's a green guy dressed like Michael Jackson in Thriller, I guess. He has absolutely no recognizable pattern. He just walks up swinging drumsticks and fucks you to death while constantly farting. Yeah, I mean, listen to it. Listen. It's a fart. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get high off his farts. His farts are basically like the ghosts of the drugs he's taken. It's worse than the drug satellite, and I can't believe I just made that sentence. You have to keep firing at him and hope it hits. This fight alone, with all the times I died, took almost as long to beat as the entire game. But with a lot of luck and a lack of anything else better to do, I was able to beat Pitbull and destroy his command center. Thank fuck! Congratulations, Shadow. You have overcome treacherous obstacles and destroyed Pitbull's evil drug empire. Your success will carry us into new height in our fight against drugs. Remember, winners need no drugs. And with that, it's over. I hope Wong and Burke are happy with themselves. At least the game was trying to push a positive message to keep kids away from drugs, but if anything, it probably made people want to do drugs. It would have helped if the game was actually any good. You know, like Mario 3. Imagine if Mario 3 had an anti-drug message. That might have worked. But with this, I feel like I need something. Like maybe some Tylenol at least. Well, anyway, I'm glad that Raid 2020 is finally done and over with now. I mean, it became sort of like an inside joke. Inside where exactly, you know. But there exist more games out there with future dates that my future self might have to deal with. When I think back to the 90s, I think of 2 things, slapstick and crude humor. First, slapstick. Looney Tunes was still popular. You know, the physical comedy and visual gags were still being referenced a lot. Animaniacs and Tiny Toons were like direct successors. Then there was Jim Carrey, whose highly expressive face was almost like a cartoon, especially when he had a CG makeover in The Mask. It was like a live-action Looney Tunes character. And then the crude humor and bodily functions were on full display in Dumb and Dumber, which had all 3, piss, shit, and puke. The Green Day album that year was called Dookie. Beavis and Butthead were at their peak, and Ren and Stimpy had been wreaking havoc the first half of the decade. It was clear the 90s was the age of the gross out, and it was also the 16-bit era. Games of the period were flexing their new technology, showing off more complex character design and animation. Interplay gave us Booger Man, which fully embraced the gross-out trend, the peak of the Turd Mountain, overlooking the Barf Marsh, and somewhere where the butt winds blow south to the vomit valleys and doo-doo dunes, between the boiling ass canyons and solid wastelands, there lies Earthworm Jim. Somebody put pen to paper and said, "How about a worm in a spacesuit?" And from that point on, the world was never the same. The character appeared in many sequels, including Clay Fighter 63 1/3, which also featured Booger Man. Earthworm Jim had his own animated series, voiced by Dan Castellaneta, best known as Homer Simpson.
Groovy!
I remember when the first Earthworm Jim game came out, it was like nothing I had ever seen. And even though it was on both Genesis and Super Nintendo and was nearly identical, I've always thought of it as a Genesis game. That's the one that came out first, the one I played as a kid, and that's the one I'll be playing now. I have fond memories of this game. Let's see if its inventive game mechanics, fun visuals, and sense of humor still holds up. Some may say it's all about boogers, but it's not. Level 1 starts, and right away, the first thing you do in the whole game is you drop a fridge to launch a cow. It says, cow launched, as if you just completed some major objective. Cow launched? What purpose does that have? Where is the cow now? It has no effect on the rest of the game. You just launch a cow for no reason. It's brilliant. On top of the zany humor, the character animation is so lively, it's like playing a cartoon. Since Jim is a worm, he uses his head like a rope or a whip. He can use it to attack enemies, he can twirl it like a helicopter, or he can hang on to stuff, or swing across. There's no shortage of things the character can do, and the control is fluid and smooth. The way he interacts with the scenery feels natural. When he jumps on the pile of tires, there's a certain rebound that feels just right. The music is awesome. In this case, I prefer the Genesis because it has that gritty, bassy sound to it. And the sound effects are hilarious. All the little voices when Jim gets hurt, or the way the birds scream when you gun them down. And then you get to the boss and the guy's making armpit farts while burping up fish. Amazing. I love when you complete the level, he says groovy. Groovy! You gotta love characters that say groovy.
Groovy.
Groovy, baby.
Groovy.
Level 2, what the heck, is clearly what the hell, as in literally hell. And this has got to be one of the best all-time hell levels. I mean, just look at it. I'm getting major Disney Fantasia vibes, or Don Bluth's All Dogs Go to Heaven. It's so awesome that I'm having a hard time consolidating everything I want to say. For the music, they use the classic Ride of the Valkyries, but then there's a record skip and it goes to something super peaceful. But every now and then, you hear somebody screaming. What's going on? The enemies are priceless. There's these chomping monster things, and then there's lawyers. I guess they're making a joke about lawyers and hell. And then there's things you would never think of, like a snowman in hell. And what are these things? Farting assholes? They're farting assholes! I like the evil cat who's in the background the whole time. That actually turns out to be the stage boss, Evil the Cat. Yeah, just a cute little white cat, like Yeti, who keeps blasting fireballs out of cannon. It's little details like the recoil animation, and how the cat stops to lick itself. It's great. Not to mention, Jim is out of the spacesuit, which is funny just to remind you that he really is a worm. Level 3 is some underwater base. There's these little orange guys that are real unassuming, but if you go near them, they'll slam you around. Man, that's so cool. You gotta hop on a giant hamster to eat them up. And next thing, you're in a little submarine. So this game is always giving you something new. It has a ton of variety, and I can't say enough good things about it. Oh, fuck. Okay, this part might be a problem. Controlling the submarine is not self-explanatory or intuitive. You have to turn the jet propulsions around so that they're pushing you in the right direction. It also gains momentum. You don't want to build up too much speed. If you hit something, it ricochets you back and you lose control. If the glass cracks too much, you're done for. So you want to take it slow. But you can't take it slow. There's a time limit. You got to get to the next checkpoint before you run out of air. Come on, take it easy. Nice and easy. No need to rush. Whoa, that was close. Motherfucker! Fuck! Fuck it! You know what? I take back everything I said. This game fucking sucks. I'm not even playing around. It's horse shit.
You know what? There's more levels. I shouldn't have done that. If you make it past the submarine, next up is level 4, Snot a Problem. As in snot, mucus, boogers. It's fucking nasty. The idea is to defeat the green guy, Major Mucus, by weakening his booger bungee cord till he falls. But don't get bitten in half by the snot monster below. Wow, it always impresses me how they keep making new death animations. Come on. Oh! Come on, what happened there? Next is the aptly named Level 5. Most notable things here, well, first, Jim gets separated from his suit, and you have to fight Professor Monkey for a head. That's his name, and that's what he is.
I've got a monkey grafted to my head.
The next stage is called For Pete's Sake. It's an escort mission where you have to keep this little puppy safe. Oh, look at that cute little puppy just skipping around. So carefree. Oh, love that little guy. Oh, shit! So with a game that has so many fart sounds and mucus and gross out humor, all I can say is, you haven't seen anything yet. Here comes the grossest level in video game history. Intestinal distress. What the fuck? Oh. Ah, what is that supposed to be? I don't want to know. Oh boy. Oh.
Ow! Ow!
This is where they took it a little too far. Somebody decided, hey, let's just go all the way and make it as disgusting as possible. On top of that, there's something real disturbing about the music. The whole thing just creeps me out. Oh, but the next and final stage is called Buttville. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it's not so bad. Just a bunch of spikes and lightning. This part you better be ready to die, and die. In the end, you defeat Queen Slug for a butt, and then rescue Princess What's-Her-Name, and then the cow from level 1 lands on her. And if you wait through the credits, they fall through the ground into lava. Overall, it's a great game with great variety and great sense of humor, but has some frustrating parts. So there you go. I'd like to introduce The Balance of Shit Justice. A game with no problems will sit in the green zone to mark its outstanding excellence. But with every flaw, every turd that drops on the other side, it moves the game into a worse zone. This one, by my assessment, is a rather good game with a few turds weighing on it. Want some more? Well, I figured if I'm going to play through one game, I might as well play through the sequel, Earthworm Jim 2. Consider this a bonus. First up, level 1, anything but tangerines. Is it just me, or are things getting even weirder? You're lifting pigs out of pig pens, sending them down slides into fish bowls, putting them on boards of wood to raise weights. If you leave them alone, they meditate and float away. Whenever Jim stands still, he takes a little guy out of his pocket and eats him. You're stealing motorized stair chairs from angry old ladies. And next, in level 2, Lorenzen Soil, you're moving dirt around, which is probably the most worm-like thing Earthworm Jim has ever done. And what was that? What did he just do? Scattered in between are these recurring stages where you're bouncing puppies off a cushion or giant marshmallow, trying to get them into a funnel, or else they go splat. Damn! That's fucking brutal! Baby puppies splatting on the concrete? That's fucked up! But you want to see some crazy shit? Level 3, Jim's now a blind cave salamander. You're back in the intestines again. As if anyone wanted to see that. But now you look like an oxalotl! A fucking oxalotl! What's the theme of this level? There's weird membrane shit, pencils, pinball parts, windows. Next thing you're plunged into a game show all of a sudden.
How does Jim spell his first name?
Wow. It begs the question. Who pitched this idea? And how in the holy mother of shit were they not dismissed as just being a total lunatic? It's as if the whole point was to make everything as random as humanly possible. That'd be like if I came to you and said, hey, I got an idea for a game. How about you're an eastern spadefoot toad in the Helix Nebula, and you gotta stab foiled chairs with rubber chickens, and out come marble giraffes, and you have to balance the giraffes on feather wreaths, and you take them to hot tubs full of salsa, which transforms the giraffes into cat trophies, which you have to collect and place all the trophies along a line of Twizzlers before a blue panda comes and eats them all, and then morphs into a giant ball of metal slime! Let's play the game.
Level 4, the Flying King. Uh-oh, somebody switched on the diarrhea dial. The suck power of that ass straw is turned to full blast. It's bad enough that everything's trying to kill you, and it's like trying to dodge rain droplets in a thunderstorm like in Silver Surfer. But on top of that, you have to keep track of this balloon that's carrying an explosive. You can't let it blow up. And you have to keep pushing it all the way to the end of the stage. But you can't focus on the balloon because there's too many enemies to deal with. Also, whenever you beat a stage, the cows talk.
Well done.
I gotta ask, what's the deal with all the cows? Some running joke, I guess? I don't get it. What is this preposterous preoccupation with cows? Just some random animal that you can't stop referencing? Alright, let's play some more of this buffalo shit.
Level 5, Utterly Abducted. Yeah, we're going full cow now. Here, you have to pick up cows and take them into these stables where the machine milks them. The milk fills the pail and lifts up the barrier. Next time, you need 2 cows, and then 3, or else the barrier won't lift all the way. Did Jim ever think about ducking under the barrier? I guess that would make too much sense. Here's where it gets nuts. The cows can get abducted by aliens, and let me tell you, these aliens want these cows bad. They are persistent as fuck and never go away. That's my cow! Get your own! You don't know the meaning of suffering until you've been hauling a cow over cliffs and almost making it to the stable only to have a UFO take the cow away. Man, I have some real beef with this level. Get your tractor beam off my fucking cow, you alien piece of shit! If you lose the cow, you gotta go all the way back. If you die, you go all the way back. And if the cow explodes for no reason, you go all the way back. Yes, some of the cows are explosive, and you have a time limit to take them to a bathtub to defuse them. Who would think to do that? But that's not all. You have to find the cows in the correct order. You think maybe they put a little too much thought into this? The cows spawn from flowers. Yes, I didn't even mention that yet. The cows spawn from flowers. If you come to a flower and it doesn't spawn the cow, that's how you know you've approached it in the wrong order. It would have really helped if they at least had an arrow or something to guide you. But no, you gotta just take a shitty guess. Meanwhile, there's these magician coffins that I can't stop falling into. And if it's not already complicated enough, you have to launch the cow over with a cannon. But then you gotta get yourself over by swinging on snot. Oh my god, can you believe that shit? Oh man, there has to be another way over there. You can't go through? And there's a 1-up just to tease you. Alright, well, I gotta go back. Fuck! Next, in level 6, Inflated Head, your worm head turns into a balloon, and you have to dodge everything in sight. If you get hit by anything, it pops your head, and you fall back down, down, down. It's as cheap as it gets. You know, variety is one thing, but when every stage is something wildly different, it starts to feel like you're constantly trying to learn a new game. It never lets you get used to one thing, just keeps throwing you these crappy curveballs. In level 7, ISO 9000, you're jumping across piles of legal paperwork. You have to carry mice in rolling cage balls and take them to certain destinations, but the real pain in the ass here is all the killer filing cabinets. These things will not chill. They just keep on coming, and they never, ever stop. Man, that's a shitty day. Don't you hate it when you get stuck between a filing cabinet and a magician's coffin?
I can't get over that filing cabinet. I know you're supposed to jump on the drawer, but I still can't get over it. He's gonna kill me against the wall. Ugh! Level 8 is called Level 8, as in food. Yeah, you gotta love food levels. This would have to make my top 10 food stages. Look at this. Running from salt shakers and straws, literally whipping eggs, hopping across all types of meat. Got some burgers sizzling in the background. Wonder if they're from the same cows. Level 9 is a secret level, which you can otherwise skip past. It's called Totally Forked, which is a great name, but the Genesis version here just says Forked. So there's some regional differences, and I guess my region couldn't handle the joke. I wonder if there's any region that just straight out called it Totally Fucked. That'd be great. Level 10 is the final level, thank God. It's called See Jim Run, Run Jim Run. This is basically nothing more than a race against the recurring nemesis, Psychro. Keeping up with this guy is almost impossible, with all these obnoxious barriers in your way and poorly placed pitfalls. It's unforgiving as hell, and if you accidentally get the gun that shoots bubbles, it's useless, and you have to give up. If you actually manage to stay ahead of Psychro and beat him to the finish line, Jim hails a cab, which crushes Psychro, he rescues Princess What's-Her-Name, and in a twist ending, all them turn out to be cows in disguise. Wow. Well, Earthworm Jim 2 was an ordeal. The first one was mostly fun, but this one felt more like torture. So let's send it to the balance of shit justice. Well, as you can see, there's lots of turds weighing on it. I don't know, this one ain't the worst I ever played for sure, but too many turds. I think I've suffered enough. But there's another one, Earthworm Jim 3D on N64. Let's see how the franchise held up making the switch to 3D. So I'm putting in some overtime here, opening up a whole can of worms. And who'd want to do that? Worms are gross. And why would they be in a fucking can anyway? Okay, so the game starts up with the most bizarre plot. Jim is in a hospital, unconscious, which is a very cheerful way to kick things off. His friends gather around, which includes Elvis for some reason. So the whole game takes place inside Jim's mind, where everything he does is part of a big mission to gain his consciousness back. Right at the start, you're collecting marbles. Get it? Like he lost his marbles? But then he has to find some chicken's underwear? Yeah, I don't know what the underwear has to do with anything. I'm only briefing you on the situation. The humor gets a little more crude. The phrase clucking hell is used, and Jim flips you off with what seems like the middle finger. I mean, he's flipping the bird, right? But the humor's gone so far off the rails, it doesn't come off as funny anymore. Why is he shooting out leprechauns? I'm supposed to knock out enemies with a leprechaun? Yeah, take that! You want a leprechaun in your hood? It caters more to the animated series, which had already come and gone by now, so you hear a lot of the Dan Castellaneta voice, which keeps making me think of Homer Simpson.
Worm power! Go, Ruby! Pain! I feel great! Win, win, win! Me, me, me!
There's this one thing he keeps shouting. Sometimes it sounds like pain, other times like brain.
Brain!
I don't really know what it's supposed to be, but you hear it all the time.
Brain! 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 Brain!
Oh no. Is that going to be the new Where Did You Learn to Fly? Brain! Another thing you gotta get used to is the music. The first stage has this sort of country sounding song and it just loops over and over and over. Then there's those disorienting camera angles. This is kind of like the curse of the time. It's what happened to many games of this era when they switched to 3D. So if Earthworm Jim already sucked sideways, now it sucks in 3 dimensions. Brain! The levels are designed with these huge open spaces, as if they made the level first and then didn't have time to put that many enemies in there. So most of the time, there's nothing to comment on. You're just running around. It's flat out boring. Reviewing this game would be like telling you about my entire day. I woke up, I got out of bed, it was a little bit cold, I put my socks on, I went to the bathroom. When I flushed, I noticed the handle was a little loose. So I had to get that fixed. You don't want to hear all that shit. Brain! There's even a stage where you hear a ticking clock. Let me ask you, is a ticking clock ever a good thing? That's what you hear in school when you're taking a test or waiting for the bell to ring. Tell me any situation where a ticking clock is something that puts you in a good mood or gets you excited. That sound sums up this whole game. Brain! In order to keep sane, I have to do insane things like this. There's the occasional funny thing to point out, like this Resident Evil spoof where chickens are jumping through windows. And this stage is called Poultrygeist, like the Trauma movie. Lloyd would be very egg-cited. There's also a ghost vacuum. Not like the kind in the first Ghostbusters game, but a literal ghost vacuum, implying that vacuums can be alive in the first place and have a soul. Then there's a boss with a cannon coming out of its body. Now, come on. Why did they have to position the cannon right there? Brain! Even though this game is boring and uneventful, it's no cakewalk. It gets just as frustrating, probably even more so than the other games. First of all, those marbles. That's exactly what I want to do in a game. Go around collecting marbles. It's just as much fun as Superman 64, flying through all those rings. The worst part's when you die, you lose all the marbles and have to start over. And there's quicksand everywhere. When you land in it, you can't jump. You're stuck and have to backtrack to get on the solid land. Then there's the knockback. When you get hit, it can knock you off the ledge. There's nothing fun about any of this.
Dude, shut it down!
Ah!
Dude, shutting down!
Ass! And if you want to know what the final boss is, it's a character known as Earthworm Kim, who is essentially a female version of Earthworm Jim. The boss fight is long and tedious, and after it's over, you'd hope there'd be at least a good ending, but no, there isn't. Brain! Well, there you go. I beat the whole Earthworm Jim Trilogy. Let's see how this one holds up on the balance of shit justice. Well, the shit really weighs down on this one. I'd say this puts it in a very unfavorable category. Yeah. And if you want to put Earthworm Jim 3D on a scale with Jaws 3D, Friday the 13th 3D, and Amityville 3D, it doesn't even compare. It's not enjoyably bad. It's just bad. For those who have fond memories of Earthworm Jim, I'm here to remind you, it wasn't all fun. It's a mixed bag, but mostly stay away from Earthworm Jim 3D. Yeah. Well, anyway, that was 3 reviews, so let's end this thing. See you next time with more shitty games. Time to do a super game. Super Mario 64. No! That's right. It's back. I already played this game. I already showed you how bad it is, but it gets worse. Much worse. First, a little background. I complained already they should have used the Superman theme, by John Williams. But I didn't know at the time this was based on the Superman animated series. It was the second in what's often called the Timverse, or DC animated universe, which consisted of the highly acclaimed Batman the Animated Series, the New Batman Adventures, Batman Beyond, Static Shock, the Zeta Project, which absolutely no one remembers. Then finally, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, with a few features sprinkled here and there. Superman the Animated Series helped bring a lot of the mythology from the comics to a whole new audience. Characters who are often excluded from previous TV or film incarnations finally got more attention and have since gained popularity and shown up in other shows and movies. It was regarded as a great series, so it's surprising it led to one of the worst games ever made. Alright, enough of the history lesson. Let's get on with this shit. So, here's an interesting detail I missed before. The story of the game is that Lex Luthor has hidden Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Emma Hamilton in his virtual world. That's right, this entire video game takes place inside a video game. You'd think a genius like Lex Luthor would use his ability to create anything in a virtual world
and come up with some crazy obstacles or enemies for Superman to face. So what did he decide on? You know. Rings. Yeah. Not messing around this time. So picking up from last time, after another round of rings, I have to fight a few Shadow Men. Alright, I'm gonna land and just punch them. No, I can't land because they're under me. Oh, and now I'm through the floor? And then oh yeah, of course. I should have expected something like that. These guys are not hard to take out, but I can't land. When you're not flying at full speed, you just hover. I can't get to the last guy in time. Ah, fuck! Finally, I'm able to punch all of them and get through another round of rings, and then I end up having to save 3 people from tornadoes. This should be really easy. You should just be able to use your super breath. No, he has no super breath. He just blows. Oh, you have to collect your superpowers. Oh, okay. So I get the super breath, I go the tornado, but I can't slow down in time. By the time I activate my power, the tornado's too far away and kills people. One time I was lucky enough to get both tornadoes in time at the right point and blow them away. But guess what? These tornadoes come back as the final boss in another Superman game. Now I'm in sort of a dam. Goddamn dam. These levels are nothing but mazes full of backtracking. You gotta throw robots and cardboard boxes into lasers, find the key card, go back to the beginning, flick a switch on a computer, blow up more robots, avoid a giant electric eel, drain the dam, and then a guy tells you to disarm some bombs before the clock runs out. Gee, where have I heard that one before? Luckily, you could pick up the super speed power-up. That should help. Oh dear. Where am I? The Phantom Zone? Oh, gee, and you have to start the whole level over because there's no checkpoints. On the way to the bombs, you have a boss fight with Mala. She was like the cartoon's version of Ursa from Superman 2. Alright, here we go. Get ready for this epic boss battle. Well, that was anticlimactic. You know it's bad when the level enemies are harder than the boss. Let's see what's next. What could possibly follow that up?
Then there's no time to waste.
No. No way. Oh no. They move! Why do they have to move? Oh, wow! Yeah, they really changed it up! You know, it's a scary thought. What if this was some kid's first exposure to Superman? Maybe they got the game for Christmas or their birthday or something. They hear about this awesome guy who can do anything, and then they pop the game in, and it's nothing but fucking rings! This would ruin the character of Superman for anybody. And if the rings weren't enough to do it for you, this weird 3D face will. Well, this is the ugliest digital Superman face I've ever seen. Second ugliest. Alright, now I'm at this puzzle. Yeah, a puzzle where I have to use different computers to make these letters say Luthor. I'm sure there's probably some pattern or strategy, but all I did was keep clicking until it got solved. Not sure how I did it, and I don't care. Now we get to Luthor's office where we fight Brainiac, one of the most badass Superman villains. He let Krypton die, has knowledge from worlds all over the universe, can shoot blasts of energy from his hands, and once mind-controlled Batman. This is definitely going to be a good boss fight. Is it too much to ask for? Just to have one decent boss fight? I mean, the levels are so complex. I mean, don't you think a good boss fight would have made it all worthwhile? Well, somebody didn't think so. Hey, you know what? At least it's not rings.
Then there's no time to waste.
Fuck! You want to know the worst thing about these ring levels? Right when you're getting the hang of it, the game will glitch and send you flying across the map for no goddamn motherfucking reason. So you have to backtrack or restart. The next level, you have to save Lois from Metallo. It's more the same. Throw boxes, kill shadow people, fight robots, figure out bullshit puzzles. The hard part's when you have to escort Lois out of the level. You'd think it'd be easy. Just pick her up and fly, right? No. She has to run. Oh, did I say run? I wish. She sprints for a second, gets to a hallway, and then slowly strolls the rest of the way. Move! Move! Oh, come on, move! You can't even run ahead just a little bit and take out some shadow guys before she reaches them. If you get too far away, a shadow guy will spawn in front of her. And I'm so sick of saying shadow guy. So you're forced to watch her take every step toward the exit, which feels like it's 10,000 miles away. Okay, time to fight Metallo, a cybernetic creep with the brain of a mercenary and a heart made of kryptonite. Let's see how much of a challenge he is. Again?
Then there's no time to waste.
Again? So then you get to this parking garage stage, and it's a huge pile of ass. No, really, this thing is a shit behemoth. Really, it's like a moldy turd. I'd rather be impaled by a piss icicle. On top of that, there's a time limit and kryptonite that's slowly killing you. Ooh, time to take on Darkseid. Now, he's the strongest of Superman's opponents in the cartoon. So, let's see what's gonna happen here. Ooh boy, this is gonna be some serious shit. Glitched. Again. Now I gotta play that whole maze all over? Oh man, this game is such shit. I'd rather lick the asshole of a Thanagarian snare beast. So, rinse and repeat. Here we go. Darkseid again. Oh wait, I have that heat vision. Let me try that. Okay, this is working. Alright, I'm gonna have to use my fist here. Oh, okay. Come back. Oh, there he is. Alright, I got him. Oh, wait a minute. Huh. I have to drag him to the police now. Yeah, Darkseid, the ruler of Apocalypse, commander of armies of parademons, a new god who can shoot omega beams from his eyes, is just gonna go to the regular police. Yeah, throw him in a cell with Bruno Mannheim. He'll be fine. And then after another round of rings, yeah, you know, I'm getting used to it at this point. I get this level where I have to rescue Emil Hamilton from Parasite. This level is actually pretty decent. The map is smaller, and the directions are more clear and precise. Also, you defeat the boss in a clever way. So all in all, it's a pretty decent level. There's only one problem. I keep falling through the map. Look at this! I broke the boundary! I'm on the outside of the game looking in!
Break the boundaries of existence. Superior gameplay lets you exceed the laws of physics. Superman 64 is 64 times the awesome!
So after that, you do more rings, big surprise, and then we're at a Subway. Not the fast food place, but the actual Subway. And it's the same stuff you'd expect. Flying around aimlessly, backtracking, yada yada. But then it turns into a real shit show when you have to do another escort mission. And this guy is worse than Lois. When enemies are close, you have to make sure he doesn't get hurt. So how do you keep him safe? By using your super breath and encasing him in ice. Well, I've seen Superman do lots of crazy things, but putting them in ice? Like, how do they breathe? How do they stay alive? Why am I asking you? Look at this shit. The guy gets to the exit, he thanks you, and you think that's it. But then he gets attacked on his way out and I can't go past the door. The only thing I can do is escape through the ceiling and hope the level ends before this guy gets killed. So here it is, the final ring level. But it's the worst of them all! There's rings underwater that go below the map, there's moving rings, there's even multiple ring paths that lead to false exits. Now that is just cruel. In a normal game, this might be challenging, but not when the controls are so broken. Ah, fuck! Fuck! Ass! Ugh. I can't do it. I need help. I need guidance.
I need to learn to fly.
Where did you learn to fly?
Geez, that's a face I didn't miss.
Where did you learn to fly?
Not from playing Cybermorph, I can tell you that.
Where did you learn to fly?
I don't know. Top Gun Academy?
Where did you learn to fly?
I wish you'd ask Superman that. He can't fly for shit in this game.
Where did you learn to fly?
Actually, when preparing for this review, I looked into when Superman first flew. Early in the comics, he couldn't fly, but instead jumped really high. The earliest appearance of him flying was in Superman number 10. The artist working on the issue wasn't clear about Superman's powers and thought he could fly. So his first flight was by accident. It was quickly corrected in the next issue, and the next time the character flew was in the radio show. Finally, Superman would fly on screen in the old Fleischer cartoon. In both cases, his power of flight was given to him simply because the people making them really wanted to.
Where did you learn to fly?
I guess Superman never really did learn to fly. It was just a combination of dumb luck and people wanting him to fly.
Where did you learn to fly?
I know what you're saying. I don't really need to learn to fly through these rings. I just need to want it and hope for the best.
Where did you learn to fly?
Well, thanks for the encouragement, talking head from Cybermorph. Hey, I'm sorry I shot you with the super scope and called you an asshole that one time.
Where did you learn to fly?
All right. What the hell's this? I'm gone 5 minutes and already I have 4 replacements? Get out of here! Yeah, here we go. Here we go! Oh, I beat the rings! I beat the rings! No more fucking rings! But the nightmare isn't over yet. The final level takes place on Brainiac's spaceship, and it is the biggest pain in the ass you can imagine. I wish I could reverse the world's rotation and go back in time to destroy the computer this game was designed on. You have to find 12 pieces of a machine scattered all over. And the whole time, you have robots, crab people, and little tanks trying to mess up your day. And if you find all the pieces, Brainiac sends you to a room full of teleporters. The goal here is to get the numbers to add up to 2,000. And like the Luther puzzle, I have no idea what to do, so I'm just gonna mess around. Sometimes I get the combination quick, other times the clock runs out and I lose. After that, you have to escort Jimmy and Lois to safety, and these idiots just stroll into a room full of lightning. You have to freeze them again and push them to safety, but be careful because you might push them off a bridge. After saving Lois and Jimmy, you have to fight Brainiac again. And if you're expecting something really exciting, well, you should know better by now. Once he's down, you destroy some bombs, and of course, another ring. Just kidding. Superman brings his friends to the real world, and Luther gets away. I am so happy to be finished with this, I'm gonna ignore that the camera is having a seizure. You want to know something else that's a real kick in the ass? In recent years, a ROM of the game surfaced, which was of the unreleased PlayStation version, and it actually looks alright. The levels look unique, the bad guys look cooler, the controls don't seem great, but it looks like they work. According to Titus, after all the changes they were forced to make for the Nintendo version, their license ran out and they couldn't release it. Instead, we got this rancid anus tart of a game vomiting green rings in our face. No! Please don't! Don't hurt the good, innocent games! I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. And I mean bad. This thing is bad. Why need a glove to play a game? What's wrong with this? Huh? I don't know. I thought this was okay, playing it, with the controller. So, if anything, the Power Glove, it's an interesting experiment in gaming technology. But too bad they were just fucking jerking off. Like, why does it suck so bad? Well, I have one fucking complaint about this glove. It doesn't work. Now, what's the most important aspect about any game? Well, being able to fucking play it. Now, before you can even begin to get this fucking piece of shit to work, you have to put these 3 sensors on your TV like this. Fuck! Piece of shit! Fuck! Now, if you own the Power Glove, you're going to need to know what the program codes are. Yes, that's right. You have to put in a different code for each game that you play. So go on the internet, get a whole bunch of fucking codes for all the fucking games, and whenever you're playing a fucking game, you got to punch in the code. Fuck. Alright, Super Glove Ball. Well, the game is basically you're just this glove and you're going around grabbing balls. Grab the flying fish. Grab them. Grab them. I don't get it. That's it. I can't fucking take it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you different games on the Power Glove. To shoot, I just squeeze my fingers. Damn! Fuck! Go up! Go up! Go up! I can't get the fuck up there. God damn it! It's easier to do a handstand while taking a shit. How do I attack? Oh. Somehow I kicked, but I don't really know how I did it. I'm getting my ass kicked. Oh. Damn, come on, get him, punch him. Oh, fuck. I can't pass the first screen in Double Dragon. Damn it. Might as well just use the fucking controller. What's the point of this? Castlevania. Twitching my finger like this, I swing the whip. Come on. Oh yeah, there we go. How do I jump? How the fuck do I jump? Oh. Is that it? Squeezing? Does that jump? Can I get up the stairs? Can I get up the fucking stairs? Fuck! How do I get up the fucking stairs? Oh. Just jump. Can I do a nice jump over this? Come on. Do a jump. Yeah, there we go. We jumped. It's awesome. It's really exciting when you actually get something to work. Come on, go down. There we go. No, don't go that way. Go this way. You asshole. Come on. Come on, go down. Don't go up the steps. Go down the steps. Don't go up the steps. Go down. Don't go up the fucking steps. Go down, you... Oh, how the fuck am I going up there again? Come on. Oh, Jesus. Jumping all over the place. I didn't even know you could jump backwards. Come on. Oh, you fucking fishman. Oh, good luck. I'm gonna fall in the water and die. Fuck! Wow, this sucks. This sucks hard. Come on. Now jump, 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 jump! Oh, wow, that helped. Okay, keep going. Oh, fuck. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. There's only one way to do this game with the Power Glove. So while it's not very responsive, I can go up and I can go down and left and right, but everything else, like the punching and kicking, just seems to come at random. Trying to pop the bubbles, good luck. Sucks monkey fuck. Sucks monkey fuck. Down. Go down. Come on, down. Down. Go the fuck down. Down. Go down. Left. Go back. Come on, go back. Go left. Go left. I can't shoot anybody over there. Go back. Go up. Up. Oh, Jesus. Come. Oh, fuck. Go. Damn it. It's a fuck-a-doodle shit. This battle will make your blood boil. Good luck. Good luck is right. I'm using the fucking power glove. I can't even line myself up to shoot this fucking tank up here. Go up. Shoot the tank. Damn it. Shoot the tank. Shoot the tank. I think I got it. I can't get around the rock. God damn it. Move. Up. Left. Left. Come on. Left. Left. You can go left. Come on. Up. Left. Up. Ugh. I can't even get around the trees. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on. Okay. Oh god. No shit. One of the big problems is that I can't either stop jumping or stop ducking. Alright, well, do I want to really bother to talk to him? Nah, not really. No, I don't. Come on, I'm serious. I don't want to talk to you. Go. Leave the fucking cabin or house or whatever the fuck it is. Come on, keep walking. Oh, there we go. I didn't really mean to go in there. Alright, leave. Alright, leave the house. Go left. Go left. Come on. Go left. Oh, I'm in the house again. I don't want to... Fuck. Get the fuck out of the house. Get up. Go away. Alright, left. Cool, there we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why am I shooting the sword? Alright. Here we go. We got this, man. We got this by the ass. You know what's really cool about Rad Racer? That if you push select, the game goes 3D. I'm playing Rad Racer with the Power Glove and 3D glasses. You can't get any more rad than that. Wow, playing Top Gun with the Power Glove. It's like puking on a pile of shit. Oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? I'm trying to land the plane in Top Gun with the Power Glove. I can't even land it with the regular controller. Punch out. Alright, well I don't know how to fucking dodge. That's really a problem. Punching seems to work somewhat. Fuck! Oh, goddamn. Oh, shit. I lost to Glass Joe. I lost to Glass Joe. Try doing the Contra code with this fucking thing. I shoot by twitching my finger. Jump by clenching my fist. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Alright, come on now. Oh god, get him, get him, get him, get him! Oh, fuck! You piece of shit. If you want to bring a totally new element of challenge to your Nintendo games, try the Power Glove, because it sure makes everything a lot harder. It's just a barely functional contraption designed to rip off little kids. It's the biggest scam since the Atari 5200 controller. The only kids who own this were usually the richer ones who thought they were cool. Well, they're not cool. I'm not cool either. Look at me. You think I'm cool? I got a fucking glove on my hand. I'm trying to play a fucking game with it. I look like an idiot with a fistful of shit. Well, hey, let's end with the classic Super Mario Brothers. Alright, Mario, you don't have to keep jumping. At least you made it over the Goomba. You were lucky, you fuck. Alright, what? Come on, I can't get up on the pipe? I'm not even doing anything. I'm touching the fucking floor right now. I am touching the floor. And I can't get him to stop jumping. Get over the pipe, you fucking asshole. Oh, I can't get over the pipe. Oh, this is... Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Go back. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Go. Come on. Oh, shit. Oh, you fuck. Now you're playing with power. Now you're playing with fucking shit. You're better off fucking shit than fucking with this fucked up shit. Fuck this shit. You don't know shit about how fucking shitty this fucking shit is. It's so bad it sucks. It's so fucking suck it fucks. And I can't take it anymore.